right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Guardian Downcast number 340. Wow. Keeps adding up. Keeps adding up. Right. I can see disc. YouTube is behind as usual. That's okay. We're used to YouTube being a little slow. We're good with that. No big deal. No big deal. All right. I think we're ready to podcast. I think we're good to go here.
Excellent.
See who is. I hate how it doesn't do that. Okay. Let me. All right, here we go. I think everything's all set. Let's do this. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 340 of Guardian Downcast. I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. For those of you who have may just discovered our podcast, we're a weekly gaming show with an emphasis on the Destiny franchise, but we like to talk about other topics relating to our hobbies from time to time as well. We also have roundtable episodes, which will become our norm starting in February, as we're changing our format to a roundtable form of show. Turning the knobs, tweaking things a bit. So hopefully this will create an even better show going forward for you guys. For those of you listening right now on those podcast platforms out there and want to check out our live shows, you can go to Todd the Gator. It's TODDTHEGATR on YouTube and Twitch, and our Discord community. You can listen in on our events and our live stage channel. If you want to see everything, it runs in the background, more of the raw show, but you can listen in or watch in as well. It's always nice to have. And we have an event tab in our Discord, but you can hit that RSVP tab if you want to be notified when we go live. It's typically every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, God's time. We'll have replays, of course, on YouTube and Twitch channels if you want to come back and listen to it at a later time, or you just couldn't catch us on the live show, which is perfectly fine. As always, you can go to our podcast apps and our website, guardiandowncast.com, to listen to any of our episodes in any order you like. I have my co-host from the great state of Utah, Mr. Kingsley Mack, back with us again. How's it going, Mike?
Hey, I'm glad to be sitting on a round table now instead of a square table. So
yeah.
Happy to be here.
Isn't it nice? Round table. I mean, it's pretty comfy. It's pretty large, too. It has room for two other people.
The chairs, too.
I did. I put some padding. Yeah, they got padding in them now. It's kind of nice. And, they're a little higher up, so it looks like you're a king of the round table, kind of thing. Anyway, there's room on either side now for two other guests, which is kind of nice. So anyway, you guys will see that in a couple weeks. First, on tonight's show, we're going to check in with Bungie, see what's new in This Week in Destiny for January 22nd. We'll, of course, mention the highlights only. Next is our topic of the week, where we discuss the enigma that is Marathon. And now that it is a concrete release date, what does this mean for Destiny 2? I also had something to add as well from last week's show. I'll add that afterwards. Kingsley has some more tech things he wanted to mention tonight, just kind of a checklist of things he wanted to go over. Next, we'll answer any questions from our community. And finally, we'll catch up with our week and take care of any housekeeping. So if everyone's ready, let's roll. All right, let us get right into This Week in Destiny for January 22nd. Kingsley, I have a feeling that Bungie just kind of got their hand out to the side going, guys over here, Destiny, just wait up. Just hold up. We're dealing with Marathon right now. We're just going to give you the standard TWABs, not really anything new. We're just going to,
Even if Marathon wasn't around the corner, there's still no news because we don't have anything until March for the next update, so it's not entirely Marathon's fault. There's just nothing going on in Destiny right now.
Uncle Scumdeath in the house. What's up, Uncle Scumdeath? Been a long time, brother. How you been doing, man? It's good to see you. He's in our YouTube chat tonight.
Hello, sir.
pretty short and sweet tonight. I'm just going to go over the highlights here. They did mention again that Arms Week is coming, but they have something cool they're doing, Kingsley. They have a challenge for the community called Fallen Torches. It's an emblem you can get. It's really, really nice, really high definition emblem. And how you get it is you have to run a Warlord's Ruin dungeon and complete the triumph Cut with Dark Age Steel, O Vengeance Mine. That's it's the whole name of the triumph. But you got to do it solo. It's from January 27th at Reset until February 3rd before Reset comes around to complete it. You got to use bows, glaives, and swords, even in different slots. And the dungeon must be completed at one time. No going to orbit between encounters, no coming back to do it later. But it does not have to be a flawless dungeon. So that's good because I'm a pulse rifle main, man. It's going to be really tough for me to use, I don't know, swords and, well, I might be able to get away with bows. So what do you think, man?
You say this is cool, but do you really think that many people think it's cool? I mean, let's just be fair for a second, not just talk it up. How many people do you think are interested?
The emblem looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the emblem here. Let's pull up the emblem real quick here.
That is the wild card. And did you know this was already actually a challenge for the dungeon?
Yeah.
They just basically added an emblem.
Right. Sorry, I went to the wrong share screen. There we go. This is the emblem. I don't know. What do you think, man? I mean, the emblem looks really nice. It's nice and dark too, so all your name and your clan and everything and your stats all stand out right there on that. I might go for this, man. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Well, I think it would be good for you to challenge yourself.
Yeah, I think so.
You need to actually do different weapons. I don't care in the slightest because I don't care about soloing dungeons. And maybe if the emblem was 1,000 times cooler and we got a title with it too, then maybe I would do it. But
yeah,
I'm not saying no one's going to like this, but I'm just curious. People, let us know. Do you think this is cool, or is it just something they added in to be different?
Well, I mean, Kingsley, they're going to make me go into Crucible anyway and play that hardware game, right? Where there's no abilities or anything.
You can do whatever you want.
I know, but I mean,
they're making me do this. I'm a big boy. I make my own decisions.
You sound like my kids. I'm an adult now. I can do what I want. What's up, Jealous Gaming?
Exactly. They don't make me do anything. I only do things in the game I like to do. Raiding and dungeons and new campaign. They don't make me do anything I don't like to do.
Hey, I got to give a shout out here real quick. Jealous Gaming, 6 months at a tier 3 Twitch sub. Brother, that is fantastic. I got to give him a gong for that, man. That is outstanding, sir.
Thank you, Jealous.
Thank you, Jealous. That really helps support the community, brother. This guy supports us so well. I mean, he's already a Raid Boss patron, which is the highest level patron you can go. But he's doing tier 3 subs in our Twitch chat. Man, the guy's just he's the Wonder Boy. Yeah. It's not Uncle Scumdad said that's pretty sweet. I'm not an emblem hunter, but that is nice. It is a nice emblem, man. I might do it for just shits and giggles, just something to do. I got to use bows all week anyway. So I know we'll have to see, but I don't know. I just wanted to mention that because it is, it looks really nice to me, but I don't know.
Here's what I think happened.
What do you think?
I don't know if you were following today, but the TWID was delayed by 2 hours.
I was at work all day. I just saw the TWID like 2 hours ago.
And the streamers were like, oh, it's going to be a big one if it's being delayed. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, we've had delays before where it's not always a big TWID. And we've had big TWIDs that come out on time. So don't put too much stock in that. And then when it came out 2 hours late and it was a small TWID, I'm just kind of laughing. I'm like, it wasn't. But I think they added this last second.
I think so.
I think that's why the TWID was delayed. So they'd have one little small token thing for us to do.
Nice. I love it, man. They got to do something here to get us excited, man. I mean, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. They need to do something with the community, I don't know, man.
This is it?
Well, I mean, I might
People running solo dungeon.
I'm trying to remember when I did Warlord's Ruin last time. I don't remember half that dungeon. Most of the dungeons I've run one time.
Have fun, trust me. As a solo dungeons they're harder than solo exotic missions. So,
yeah,
there you go.
We'll have to see. Well, at least we'll know. That kind of ties into something I want to talk about tonight, but I don't want to mention it yet. I want to go over the TWAB here.
We'll wait.
There are some conditions, though. You are allowed, by the way, to use eager edge and skating, sword skating. They're allowing you to do that. What you cannot do, though, you can't go out of bounds. You can't use any other weapons other than bows, glaives, and swords. You can't skip encounters or traversal sections. You have to traverse the entire dungeon. They'll be tracking it internally. And if you share it on your socials using hashtag #DarkAgeHunt, capital D, capital A, and capital H, with the video recorded of the completion. Now, tell me if I'm not hearing this right. They said they're going to give everyone the Movie of the Week emblem. Did you see that?
I mean,
the way they phrased it, it sounds like they're going to automatically give you that emblem, the Movie of the Week emblem, for recording a completion solo and completing the challenge.
That is the words they use. Now, we do know in the past they've used wrong word combinations on what they actually meant, but you're right. As of right now, it's saying everyone's going to get it.
If that's the case, I might just do it. I might just start strategizing and figuring out how I'm going to get through it. I might even run maybe with 2 other community members. I might run it this week maybe and get through it just to get a refresher of how this thing runs. It's been a long time since I run a Warlord's Ruin. Anyway.
But
we'll
everyone, the Movie of the Week emblem, that's kind of like watering down the.
I'm guessing
the nicety of that one. No.
Here's what I'm seeing in between the lines, Kingsley, is they're going to award one of those emblems to someone they think has the best completion. I think so. I think that's how I picked it up. But I've looked at the phrasing. It looks like they're giving it to everybody who posts it. If that's the case, you're going to see a lot of people posting it. But let's face it, this is not something everyone can do. So maybe it'll limit the amount of, I don't know. We'll see. I already hate using bows, swords, and glaives to begin with. I might have to brush up on my close range attacks and stuff. Let's see what else. They will be tracking it internally, so you won't have to worry about logging in with your, registering or anything with your Bungie ID. They're going to know who you are when you're in there. So we'll see. I'll think about it. I might actually decide to do it. The other thing was in the TWAB was the Game to Give is still going strong. They're at $1.177 million raised so far. The proceeds, just so you know, go to supporting children's health, well-being, humanitarian aid, and inclusion, diversity, and equity. So they have the Bungie Foundation. In fact, I'm wearing their shirt tonight in honor of that. They really give to all kinds of anything from Ronald McDonald House to Stack Up. I mean, they support so many different charities out there. They really do good stuff. $1.17 million. That's outstanding. They're going to have one more big live stream event, January 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific time on the Bungie Foundation channel on Twitch. Bungie goes through, they're going to have a little showdown called Bungie Through the Ages, where 2 teams will play the OG Marathon game, Halo, Destiny 1 and 2, to earn the ultimate bragging rights. And if you want to know who's going to be on those teams, it's on the TWID this week. There'll be, like I say, a lot of popular live streamers involved, but also Brian Villalobos, the voice of Lodi, and Todd Habercorn, the voice of Drifter, will be auctioning off some really epic stuff from Bungie's history. So check that out. I'm going to tune in because when you tune in or you make a donation, not tune in, you can get the 1,000 Hugs emblem, which looks really nice. So make sure you jump on the stream and donate something and you'll get the emblem. They're adding one more addition to this new player guide. And this new section there,
it's just a paragraph. So every week count on another paragraph
exactly.
being added.
They're focusing on the tower. So if you want to know where that new player guide is, there's a link in the TWID where you can click that and know where it's at. Player support report. Shit's basically broken the same as last week, but they did want to say one thing. There was, if you're wanting to pre-order a Marathon, there's some instructions you got to do here. You got to pre-order on the platform that's linked to the same Bungie.net profile, and then you'll receive the Marathon pre-order pack, and it's going to be available at the special deliveries terminal, right next to the gunsmith in the tower. So, but I looked at everything there. It's pretty much the same stuff we mentioned last week. Kingsley, is there anything else new in there? It looks kind of the same. no ears on the hunter and that kind of stuff, you know. What's up? I am half Pedro. Been a long time, brother.
Yeah, the TWID was kind of pointless again.
Yeah, it was kind of a worthless TWID. I have not pre-ordered Marathon yet. I am half Pedro. I'm gonna get it, but we're gonna talk about that because that is our topic of the week, and that is coming up next. All right. I'm gonna grab my coffee real quick. Not my coffee, my hot tea, and I'll be right back. Just give me like not even 60 seconds. I'll be right back, guys. In fact, I'll put on intermission footage if you guys want to see me play some really bad Trials of Osiris. Be right back, guys.
Oh yeah, I see the footage on Twitch and YouTube. All right. Sorry about that. I brewed it right before the show and I forgot to grab it. Appreciate that, guys. All right. Marathon. I see you also got your pea drink next to you too.
Yeah, this is my my always have green tea and honey and lemon. That's
nice
my
color there.
That's my cold tea, and then I have if you can see it there, I have hibiscus tea and also throat coat, which is like a it was like an echinacea brew some sort, and I blend them together. It tastes really good together. Got a dash of honey in there and a little bit of liquid. What's that natural sweetener? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, stevia. Yeah, stevia.
Ew, I hate stevia.
Yeah. Anyway,
I wish I liked it, but it has like a weird flavor profile for me.
It just saves my voice throughout the night. The throat coat stuff does. So I know it sounds so gross saying that word, but anyway. Okay.
You can also just drink some creamer.
No, I'm not going to drink creamer. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. All right, now for the topic of the week, it's not really a real thorough topic of the week, but a lot of news has come out about Marathon, and we finally have a release date of March 5th. But what they did is they pushed Shadow and Order back, and it's being delayed, and they don't say how far it's going to be delayed. And okay, it is a rumor. That's right. It hasn't been officially announced yet, has it?
Yeah, in fact, on that point, a lot of people were upset today that it wasn't talked about in the TWID, confirmed if it was pushed back or not. Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you know what March 5th is, but it's the anniversary date of Valve Disciple. When Valve Disciple came out.
To do with Marathon?
Well, I mean, I think Valve Disciples was one of the OG, one of the really best raids I've played in a long time. But I'm just here's the thing. When they first came out with Marathon, they first mentioned it. What was the first thing they did when it caught word to the Destiny community? Their attitude was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This isn't Destiny. This isn't targeted to you guys. This isn't a Destiny game. This is for where we're targeting testers from the Extraction games. So what did they do? They invited a bunch of people that played, probably all the big streamers and stuff that played all those extraction games like Tarkov and stuff. And what did they say? There were rumors that these big time streamers who had played Tarkov and other games like that said they didn't like it. And they've done several play tests with anybody who wants to sign up for it. In fact, you go to the Discord server in Discord and you can fill a form out there. And Kingsley, you and I were testers for one of the alphas. And now all of a sudden, it's like, hey, Destiny players, we got a game for you guys now. And it just seems so weird how they're really pushing all of their promotional effort toward the Destiny community now, after they already told us it wasn't for us. This is a PvP.
I don't see it that way. Yeah.
All right, tell me how you see it, because that's the way I'm kind of, my feelings are kind of hurt right now.
Well, tell me what really pushing it means. This is just minor pushing. It's not really pushing. Like, really pushing would mean like there's all these, I mean, of course they're going to have a combo pre-order. You know, you get the ornaments on the one side, you get the ornaments on the other side. All games do that these days, and that doesn't mean they're really pushing anything. I mean, you even see that in games like Division. They have all sorts of like crossovers with other games, but they're not really pushing the game, you know. I would see really pushing like it's written in the TWID like for weeks in a row saying like, oh, Destiny players, check this out, you know, but they haven't been doing that. So I don't know. I don't see them really pushing it. I just see them talking about it lightly.
I have to disagree, because there's one thing they did that made me think that they don't want, that they're targeting Destiny players, and that's by delaying Shadow and Order, because it came out the same week. So why would they just not let, if we're totally separate communities here, then why not just let us play our new stuff and then let the chips fall where they may in Marathon? I know why, because they need all players they can get to try this game out week one.
No.
You don't think so?
Wrong. Because pre-orders are already off the charts. It was a number 3 pre-order for a little bit on Steam. And most of those people weren't even from Destiny, I can guarantee. So the game is already looking like it's going to do pretty good anyways. Now, the reason why it's probably pushed back is because of marketing shared resources. It's not about saying we don't want people playing Destiny when Marathon comes out. It's more about just having its time in the spotlight, since they're owned by the same company, owned by Sony. I bet it was Sony that made the decision. They're like, we want marketing to just show Marathon for a few weeks to a month, and then we can focus on Destiny again.
Counterpoint. You really don't think that a majority of the people that are going to play this game are going to be Destiny players? Uncle Scumdeath in the chat says right now.
No.
Question about Marathon. Would the guns in that game have the feel of Destiny guns, or would they try to make it different? I've not seen much Marathon footage, so I'm interested to know. Yes, me and Kingsley have both played it. It is very much like Destiny feel as far as weapons, at least in my opinion. I can't answer for you, Kingsley, but it feels pretty much like Destiny, doesn't it?
Well, the guns feel like Destiny, but it's a much bigger conversation. The game itself is nothing like Destiny. That's what you have to realize, people. It's an extraction shooter PvP. So if you don't know that, and this is, again, while I'm shaking my head at you saying you're going to pre-order it, because I guarantee you'll play it for like a few days and you'll be like, it's not for me. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have pre-ordered it. I told you it wasn't for you.
I love you, Kilvin. Kilvin in chat says, I think it's funny that when folks pre-ordered Marathon that it forced them to download Destiny 2. Exactly. They want, I don't know, man.
Okay, we're changing. Okay, did you even hear what I said?
I heard what you said.
And then we'll get to Kilvin's
I heard what you said. But Zombie actually, he says, Todd, they don't want to split their focus on two things. Well, that goes to my point. Kingsley has drilled it into my head that it's two separate teams with these games. But if that is
development, but not for management and marketing,
Okay. I think they purposely delayed it not because they wanted to split the focus. I think because they know that a lot of players from Destiny are going to at least try this game out. And then once they go in there and they get us this cool weapon and then immediately die and they can't take it with them, then they're going to go, F this, I'm done. I'm not playing this stupid game. I hate extraction shooters. I totally
disagree, because for it to be number 4, it was 3 or 4 on Steam charts. For it to be that high, that is not coming from Destiny players. That's coming from other people.
How can you verify that?
You know,
where's your info? Give me your data.
Article. I'll get the. Okay. But I promise that's true.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You just know there's a lot. You just know there's a lot of Destiny players that are going to be playing, at least trying this game because it feels like Destiny. And even if they get their butt kicked, it's still going to feel like brand new Destiny. It's going to be a Destiny 3, but not really a Destiny 3. Because you're going to have new guns. You're going to have all these attachments you can pick up and put on them. And I don't know.
Okay, so it was, hold on. The actual number, I mean, it was definitely the, one of the best-selling pre-order games on Steam.
Okay.
It hit the official top sellers chart. There we go. The second best-selling paid game next to Counter-Strike 2, Warframe, and Marvel Rivals.
Okay.
And so already this proves it's not going to be a Concord because there's no way it can with this many pre-orders. And with that many people, it can't be Destiny people because it wouldn't be that high if it was just Destiny people. It would be a lot lower. So a lot of people are interested in pre-ordering it right now, which I think is pretty cool. That's good news.
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you, Jealous. We know you're liking our creators right now. We talked about that in a previous show you were on. Soggy Cardboard 55 says Marathon really needs to be a success for Bungie because if it's not, I'm not sure where they go from there. Hey, I agree. I want Marathon to be a success. I just don't know what I'm kind of butthurt though, man. I'm just being honest here. They have done nothing. If anything, they've dissuaded people from playing Crucible. So we'll be hungry for this new game Marathon that's coming out because it's strictly a PvP game. And I feel kind of like I'm getting some false advertising here, but because what was in their last trailer? There was a bunch of lore stuff that they started flashing in that trailer about things going on in the background. And I'm like, when are we going to see these outtakes? Are we going to see this at the beginning before they launch us into the game? Or are they going to, or is there going to be this spread out throughout the game in different seasons or stuff? You know, they don't really tell us. Take care, Uncle Scumdeath. Take care of yourself, brother. Appreciate you, man. Hey, have a good gig, man. Have a good gig. I'm just curious, Kingsley, because did you notice this last trailer was very, very lore focused. A lot of it had
I didn't watch it. I was bored.
There was a lot of flashbacks to the different companies, the different corporations and what they're trying to do and stuff. And it very much felt like a Destiny trailer. What that last thing they did, which makes me think they're definitely, which makes me think that's why I got this inkling that I really think I think there was a pivot somewhere along the line where they said, you know what, we'd be stupid not to at least try to promote this to our Destiny base, which already loves our games. So, but I think they played a little hard to get at first. They really they really weren't pushing and inviting a lot of people from the Destiny community to try this game at first. They were trying people from outside the Destinyverse. And I don't know, man. It feels like they've pivoted and now they're like, just maybe out of necessity, or maybe they just are just trying to inflate those numbers where people are going to try it out. Now it is $40. I mean, that's not incredibly expensive. It's the same as the price of Arc Raiders. And there's players that said that they're upset about that. But why would they be upset about that? I mean, are they expecting this to be a free-to-play game? I mean, Bungie games have never been really free-to-play, except maybe the base part of Destiny. But
I haven't really heard any complaining about the price.
All right. Well, there's been a few YouTube videos out.
Or else how did it get to number 2 on the top pre-order sales?
Number 4. Yeah. Like I said, the early days of Marathon, they repeatedly mentioned that this game was not for us Destiny players. And now all of a sudden
they said it might not be. I'll get the exact wording here.
Okay.
They didn't say it's for sure.
I know you want to be fair about it.
And this is what everyone needs to hear again. What they mean by that is it's not a PvE game. Don't buy this expecting it to be like Destiny. It's an extraction shooter. Please remember that, people. Yeah. I promise if you're anyone like me, like raiding, like PvE stuff, and don't like Crucible, do not buy a Marathon because it's not going to be for you. And it's not even a normal PvP game. It's an extraction shooter game that's more hardcore than Arc Raiders. So there you go.
Yeah, IMF Pedro says he's not sure if he's going to either pre-order it. He's still missing time to play in Destiny. Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to be playing Destiny every week like I normally do to complete my weekly seasonal track because mainly what I'm getting in return is pretty valuable to me. Like being able to get a high-powered weapon and armor, a couple armor pieces from Zavala every week, that just helps jump up my light power, which I don't know where your light power is right now, but I'm at 548 and 7/8. I'm almost at 550. But how long did it take me to get to that?
I don't care.
I know you don't, but it's just something has to be checked. I have to complete that in my head that I've got my high power stuff.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
If you like that, then don't you want it to go forever? You don't want to get to 550. You want it to go even higher and just go forever, and you never get to the top.
Because now what I can do, because I know there's not going to be I'm assuming there's not going to be any increase in power. They're going to get away from that, maybe. Everything is Delta based anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Even if you play a raid, it's always going to scale up to the highest level player it's in that game. But you'll still get your power weapons and rewards once you complete the raid encounters. But I don't know, man. I just want to start upgrading a lot of my weapons and stuff that I haven't had a chance to do. So any drops I get once I'm at 550, I can immediately just start up, leveling them up. And again, I don't know why, but I guess just so I'll be going into a dungeon or something at the highest possible power so I can get the highest, possible rewards. And even then I'm still getting tier 4 stuff in the new dungeon. It's really irritating. I know I need to go to Spider and upgrade. I know, but I haven't been playing a lot of Frontiers. I told you I did that test last week and it was not fun, man. For the solo player, I don't know where they go when it comes to Lawless Frontier. And the matchmaking has just not been.
They normally matchmake.
The matchmaking has not been fun, man. I still got to.
You haven't tried it.
I got to tweak it. I've tried it a little bit. I just need to tweak it and see if I lower my power or go into a lower power, like an expert version of Lawless Frontiers, even though I know I'll get lower power gear and tier stuff. I'm just wondering if I'll get players that are on that same level. I don't know. Because I did it at full ultimatum mode. And players didn't know what they're doing. Yeah. They were just getting run over.
The main thing you're going to run into now that you waited this long is no one's playing it anymore. You got to do those things right away when they come out.
What I might do is do a live stream and see if there's 2 other people about my power level that might want to run it with me and just knock it out for a few hours. Just see if the experience is any better.
I was looking at what the most common activities are in the last 60 days, and I'm really happy. The dungeon by far is the most popular activity, and all the Lawless Frontier things are quite a bit down, actually. People really aren't playing them anymore.
I can't speak too much to it because I haven't played it enough. And I think what I'm going to do maybe once our new just an announcement here, once our new format comes out in February, I am going to do a game of the month that I'm going to try every week. I'm going to stream it live either Tuesday or Wednesday of every week. So people can check in, or even if they want to challenge themselves to try playing it with me or, alongside me. And then then on the following first week of the next month, I'll give you my review or my experience playing it as a Destiny player, because I think a lot of people here are Destiny players and they just want a perspective from someone who doesn't play many other games and maybe wants to jump in and try something new, but maybe don't.
Well, yeah, we've been doing that for years, and that's good to see you on board. There's a lot of good games out there that
make it like
players like
Soggy Cardboard. Make it like a book club.
The Division, Borderlands, like Diablo. There's a lot of games that Destiny players
and honestly, the reason I'm pushing to do it is so I got to give credit where credit's due. This was my wife's idea. She goes, you need to make a challenge every month, and then you can have a feedback channel for that game, and people can mention it in the server Discord, what they think or what their experiences playing it were, and then we can go back and forth, and maybe I can even share some of those comments. But it won't be like a big segment in the show. It'll kind of be at the end where we're wrapping up, and I'll just talk about my experiences so far in the game. So I will be doing that starting with a February show.
How many hours do you think you would put into a game, to be fair, before you give a review?
Well, I'm going to put at least 3 to 4 hours a night once a week. So that'll be 12,
so
12 to 15
then.
hours.
Yeah.
I think that's enough to figure out if it's going to be fun to play or not.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
You could even probably do a little less, but yeah, that's totally fair.
No, I'll stream. I'll stream for at least 3 hours at night, and people can tune in to see the struggle bus, and it's all of its regalia, or even just see how I do in it, or watch the playback later. I don't know, whatever, or not watch it. I mean, it's up to you guys, but it's going to give me an excuse to play my backlog, if anything. And for that reason alone, I mean, you should see my backlog in my PlayStation 5. I just got a capture card today for my PlayStation 5 so I can stream it on OBS, because my Elgato, I bought a brand new Elgato capture card, and it has never worked correctly. So I bought a cheaper version, which people have really high reviews for. And I just want to, it's a fraction of the cost of my Elgato, and I just want to see if it works. And if it does, then I'm going to go from my PS5 Pro library right onto Discord, right onto OBS, where people can see me playing it. Otherwise, I'll have to get it for a PC, and then I'm going against the PC crowd, the lobbies and stuff, and just make things maybe a little more miserable. I don't know. Scarlet Maddie, I'm looking forward to the new Lego Batman personally. My gaming review does not go far. Okay. Yeah. I've never been into Lego games. Sorry, Scarlet. I've never been into the Lego games. There's a question tonight about Minecraft. Sorry, maybe I'm late to the party on that stuff, but I never took to that stuff. But you guys are younger than me, so that was part of your culture back then.
Did you actually try them for 15 hours?
No.
See, I didn't think I'd be into Clair Obscur, and I tried it after about...
Yeah.
Now, that game's an exception, but an
Game of the
hour
Year.
in, I was hooked. Yeah.
Well, you were telling me.
I never knew until I tried it.
Sen was telling me, people in the Discord were telling me, and then my son was telling me, you got to play it, Dad. So that's what's, what I might do is one night even just finish Clair Obscur, because I still need to finish that last segment.
Yes, please.
I think I got 8 hours left of gameplay or something like that. So I might even just do that as like a bonus stream for the week or something. But I can't stream every night because I got a business to run. I got other podcasts to put out and stuff. I just have limited time to play these days. Anyway, well, I got off on a tangent there, but that was the main thing I wanted to talk about with Marathon, because I still think that I think they're going to delay Shadow and Order for like a whole month because they want people to try Marathon. I really think they delayed the game, not because of split focus, Zombie. I really don't think it's that. I think they want to make sure, because everyone's going to be bored to death with Renegades by then especially, and I think they just want people to thirst over this new game. I really think they're manipulating the player base. We'll see how it turns out.
I think so, because actually, guess what? A lot of people play two games at the same time.
No.
Contrary to popular belief.
Who's doing that?
And
never heard of that.
I just think it's a marketing thing, because obviously they want people to still play Destiny. Otherwise, they'll turn off the servers. But, for marketing, it just needs its time in the spotlight.
Scarlet Maddie continues, just saying that pretty much that's all there is to me besides Destiny. And that's sad, but it is what it is. Well, I mean, you played Silksong too, I think, didn't you, Scarlet? Yeah, you were real big on that game too. So you play what you play and don't apologize. That's what Admiral Nips always says. One of our old
There's
OGs.
a couple other news items with this whole Marathon Bungie thing, which I think are interesting. I'll add on to your topic of the week.
Go for it.
First,
floor is yours.
I heard, and this is good news, that a lot of big developers, now the streamers are saying this, and they weren't going to name any names of who they were, but supposedly a lot of big developers have already moved back over to the Destiny side.
That's great news.
So that's kind of cool.
That is.
And then also, so again, that's another point that they're not trying to deprecate Destiny. Mm-hmm. I think this is just a marketing thing.
I didn't say they're deprecating. I just think they're manipulating the player base.
Yeah. No. They don't need to. It's already top seller on Steam. It's already going to do good. It's already going to do good, even without Destiny players.
I would love to know what percentage Destiny players bought that game though on Steam.
Sure. That'd be interesting. That is an interesting fact. And then the other thing is, I don't think at this point it's going to do bad, because it can't unless. What's the rules for Steam? I think if you play less than 2 hours, you can return a game or something. I forget what
something like that is. But, I can't remember, but it's pretty liberal.
Maybe it's
a pretty liberal rule.
Yeah, but let's assume people don't return the game, or not that much. Mm-hmm. So we already know it's going to do well for the initial sale because of the pre-orders. So there's been a lot of talk on like if it didn't do good, would that affect Destiny? Well, I don't even think that matters now at this point because it's going to do good enough. Now, of course, it may not do good in the long run, but then again, anyone can expect that. Like even Arc Raiders might not do good in another 6 months from now. Other games too. So I think the point of whether it does good or bad is kind of moot at this point.
Okay.
Also, March is not a lot going on with games. The pushing it back, no matter if it was ready or not, it's ending up being a brilliant decision, and that's another reason why it was so high in the pre-orders is because not much is going on in March. So again, I'm not going to try it because I have other games I'm interested in, and I know I don't like extraction shooters.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people will try it at the last second, Destiny players or not. I just saying like it's going to continue to get a lot of pre-orders because not a lot's going on in March, and I think it's going to do pretty okay.
The true test, of course, is going to be that 6-week lag afterwards. Are the players going to diminish by 80% like they did with Battlefield 6, or will there be more staying power? We'll have to just see.
Like Arc Raiders, yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, the thing I love about PvP games is no game is the same, so you can't really get bored. And if anything, you're trying to get better at the game so you can survive and win more matches and get it in and extract, right? And keep your loot. So, well, that'll be
people still get bored. People still get bored, or else why do they ever drop off? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to see, I guess. I'm really surprised Battlefield's population fell by 80%. That's alarming. And I don't know if you knew this, but Zampella died. He got in a car accident. I never mentioned that a few weeks ago, but I don't know if you knew this, but Vince Zampella died, man. That's the heart and soul of that company, man. And he's gone now. And they've released.
Was that the game director?
That's the guy who came up with the original Modern Warfare 2. That's like the OG. That's like the God game of all God games. If you're a shooter fan, that's like the OG.
Was he also game director?
Yeah, he was a force, man. He's the one that turned around Battlefield.
So did you hear the news that the game director, and now this isn't affecting Division at all,
right?
The game director of the Division actually is moving over to Battlefield, so maybe he's going to take that position.
Might be. That makes perfect sense because Vince Zampella, he left a big void, man. He was a big guy in that industry.
Yeah, and that's all it is. And with having such a cool position like that, the game director of the Division this is definitely not a doom and gloom thing because there's been a lot of good Division news lately. He probably just wanted to change a pace and maybe he's even getting more money. Who knows? But
money talks.
But yeah, exactly.
And especially if he likes Battlefield,
even more sense than if the guy died, and then that's why the other guy's moving over.
You know what? So. You know what's kind of ironic here in the whole scheme of things? Arc Raiders. Who's the company behind Arc Raiders? It's what's the studio name again?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Look it up. Anyway, this studio.
The game's not for me.
The studio that makes Arc Raiders used to be the head of DICE for Battlefield games back in the day, and those are the times when I loved to play Battlefield. Back in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, those games were rich in progression. It would take you forever to get all the unlocks for all those weapons in that game. The game was ultra realistic. You felt like you were in a war. You really felt like
Embark
you were there.
Studios.
Yeah, this Embark is led up by the head, who was the head of DICE. I think it's in Rotterdam, Netherlands, I think is where he's from. Don't hold me to that, but I'm trying to remember his name because it was always a big name. He was the head honcho when DICE first made the Battlefield games, but now he's the head of Embark. And I'm telling you, man, I'm liking what I see from that studio. We'll just have to see how long Arc Raiders holds its reign of players. That's all I had on Marathon. Any other stories you want to mention about that, Kingsley, before we move on?
No, that's all. That was all the other news that I had too, as far as like pre-orders going well, and then how the game does. And I don't think it's gonna. I think, as far as bringing this back to the Destiny side, there's still a lot of unknowns. Even if Marathon does really good, that still doesn't mean Destiny is going to be at a better spot. But maybe if it does really good, then that's even more reason to hire more people and get a Destiny 3 going a little bit quicker.
Well, I did want to
So,
mention this. I did want to show this because I just ran across this today. Back in one of the TWABs, I can't remember which one, but I'll share it here. Dadgummit. I gotta fix my stuff on this. They mention, if you look at 9.501, which is already dropped, after Tex Mechanica is the extra thing that's going on right now. Arms Week bows. What is after Arms Week bows on this list? Iron Banner. I'm really hoping and praying that after Arms Week, Iron Banner comes back, because I'm really jonesing to play some Iron Banner right now. I know the Crucible's a mess right now, but Iron Banner always brings me back, just because I can group up with my friends I used to play a lot of Crucible with, like Moonshine or Warcry, and a lot of the players that would jump in there, maybe even Priceless. And what's up, Miklo? And I miss those weeks, man, when Iron Banner would roll out. I'd play several times throughout the week, and usually stream it too. So I'm looking at the Arms Week bows, and right after it is Iron Banner. So if this is in some kind of order, which it says Dawning right here, so it may be out of order, but they do mention it. I'm just curious when that's going to be. There's a lot of time between now and, I'm guessing, April, when Shadow and Order is going to come out. And remember, it's just an update. It's like Ash and Iron. It's not going to be anything great. So I'm a little worried there. But anyway, I wanted to show you that because I was just perusing through this old Renegades article that they came out with, sharing that part.
Well, of course, Iron Banner's coming at some point, but we don't know when yet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you had some tech articles you wanted to go over, and I actually had something that I wanted to add to last week's conversation as far as our wish list. I want to run it by you guys and see what you guys think, but I'm going to let Kingsley. I'm going to give Kingsley the talking stick first, and we'll go from there. But we'll do that when we return. All right, Kingsley. We were talking about what we're going to talk about we were talking about what we want to discuss on the show this week. And you mentioned you had some various tech stuff that you want to bring up, because we got a lot of good feedback that people love that tech article, man, about the RAM things and the RAM shortages and stuff coming up. So I'm going to hand the talking stick to you, and then I've got something I want to say before we move on to our next segment. But floor is yours, sir.
Well, one's kind of like gaming related more than tech. And since we've been talking a little bit about some of that stuff and people moving around, maybe I'll start with that. This is another interesting example of studios under the same master company, how they interact with each other, and if one cannibalizes on the other, which sometimes is the case, but usually not. And I don't know if anyone heard, but Ubisoft announced a major restructure, and they still need to save a little bit of money, which makes sense because they grew way too big, like a lot of gaming studios and companies did. But it's not actually super doom and gloom. In fact, their main tentpole things are even getting more attention, aka things like The Division, which I'm really happy about. And I'll get to more news on that in a second. But they're doing a restructure where they are canceling 6 projects, and all they really said of that so far was like a Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, and probably just smaller things that not as many people cared about as much. But their big restructure is they are going to have creative houses underneath them, and they're going to have more autonomy than ever before. So Ubisoft will be like a master parent, kind of like Sony type of thing. But it sounds like they're going to give them more creative freedom than even Sony's giving Bungie. Basically, the studios will even be in charge of marketing and how they want to present news too. So this can be really huge news, where before a lot of times things like The Division or whatever had to rely on Ubisoft to approve certain things. The idea now is, as long as they're doing okay, at least enough monetarily wise, they'll have a lot more autonomy. And they give it an example. They're going to have 5 creative houses. And the first one is their biggest one, Vantage Studio. And again, these are like creative houses, like a whole division underneath that has full autonomy. And Vantage Studios is that deal they also did with Tencent or whatever, where they put in like a 30% ownership. So they invested billions in the company, but still Ubisoft owns most of it. And that's the big ones like Assassin's Creed, of course, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, like their biggest brands. But their second creative house, this is what I'm really excited about. The second one's called Offering Competitive and Cooperative Shooter Experiences, and this is where The Division fits in. They're also going to be putting Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell in this creative house.
Okay.
But this is most likely going to be Massive Entertainment, even though they didn't name the studio yet, because Massive is already the ones that did amazing things with The Division. You know, Massive also did Star Wars Outlaws. I love that game. You know, I love that. Anyone who knows, I love The Division. And Division has been confirmed. They're working on Division 3. There's a lot of Division news coming up in March, things like that. So that'll be really cool. Creative House number 3, that'll be operating a roster of select Sharp live experiences. Examples there include Brawlhalla, For Honor, Riders Republic, Skull and Bones, The Crew. I mean, we know Skull and Bones isn't doing so great, but I don't know. You know, it's just kind of interesting. We'll see how that one goes. Creative House number 4, dedicated to immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. Examples there can be Anno, Beyond Good and Evil, Myth and Magic. Anno, by the way, you could be interested in. That's like a Sims type building game.
You had me at Beyond Good and Evil. I'm still waiting for that game to come out.
Might and Magic, other Prince of Persia games, even though the one got canceled, and Rayman.
Wait a minute, did you say Might and Magic?
And then, Might and Magic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then Creative House number 5, reclaiming a strong passion in casual and family-friendly games. And those examples include their Hasbro portfolio, Hungry Shark, Just Dance, Uno, kind of like party games, stuff like that, you know. So I don't know. I think this is pretty cool news. And they said there will be a little bit more restructuring to lessen some more employees, but from what we can understand, it's more so going to be in main corporate and things that won't really affect the creative houses as much. Now, there was a couple layoffs. There were 55 layoffs between, I know, Massive and then one other house that was the Stockholm, Sweden or something studio, but that was when Star Wars Outlaws was done, I believe, so they didn't need as many people. And they needed to save some money anyways. But as far as I know, at least the big projects moving forward are good to go. One other thing they had to do, which is interesting news, because I guess their fiscal year goes through March, probably like Sony's too, you know. And they said there's a game that's being delayed from fiscal 25 to fiscal 26, or maybe it's 26 to 27. I forget the exact details, but that's pretty much the worst kept secret. They're redoing the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake type thing, and the rumors was that was going to be coming out in March, and now it might be like, if it's the next fiscal year, all they have to do is release it in April instead. But who knows? Maybe it'll be even later. Okay. But technically, if it's even a month later, it's a different fiscal year. So as far as like money and stockholders and everything, they like to know those details. So I don't know. I just kind of thought this Ubisoft stuff was interesting. I don't know if you heard anything about it yourself or have any comments.
All I've heard is that Ubisoft, its stock price is really at like a record low, but I'm curious, are they starting to rebound now? Because
I don't know. Let's see.
I know their stock price fell quite a bit.
I don't really care about stock prices entirely.
That's true, because it's not about investors, it's about gamers. It's about players. That's what the company should always be focused on, that part, because if you're making your players and your gamers happy, then who cares about the stock? Because your game will automatically do better.
They did drop a lot. We'll see what happens coming up.
I remember talking about this when I was talking about the state of the gaming industry at the beginning of the year. That article, I remember I was looking at that research that market analysis. I can't remember the name of the company, but I got that report from them, and Ubisoft really took a hit. But it looks like they're shuffling their chairs around. They're reorganizing. That's a good thing, right? So it is
a good thing, at least as far as as long as they're not saying they're canceling their biggest things like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry's, Divisions, things like that. As long as those aren't being canceled, and I think they're being smart too, because again, these creative houses are going to have more autonomy, so less money has to be funneled from Ubisoft Direct, and probably Ubisoft was just like, we're like financing everything direct, and now it's going to be a little more self-contained, where there'll be less pressure on Ubisoft, the corporation, but also probably better news too, that just, if one particular creative house doesn't do as good, then they can shuffle things around, or let them break off, or fire. I don't know. There's options, where before it was just all Ubisoft, Ubisoft, Ubisoft. But like now, I think there's I think this is, to me, this sounds like a better structure. It could just be smoke and mirrors, but at least I'm happy that some of their big tentpole things are not being outright canceled or anything.
Yeah, my question I had for you is, do you think they're going to make these gaming houses more autonomous to do what they want? Like, Sony tends to have a hands-off approach to most of their gaming studios. They have a lot of trust in their gaming studios are going to make what they need to make, and they pretty much stay out of their way and just do the publishing.
Well, not with Bungie. We've heard them taking over more.
Well, Bungie's a troubled child right now, so they need some oversight maybe, but with their other gaming studios, they tend to give them a lot of room to make what they need. Just get out of their way and let them do what they do. So I'm just curious if Ubisoft does this as well. So no, I didn't really have I really didn't have much else to add to this story, but I just know that Ubisoft has really been struggling, and maybe this is a move to try to restructure and build up their studio again.
Yeah. And there's no way they would cancel something like The Division also, because again, like I've been saying this all along, but it's even true today. Like The Division 2 has even more players now than like when it first came out. And that's unheard of. Imagine if Destiny had more players now than when it first came out.
That'd be
That's
great.
never going to happen.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. But every game...
How can you make a game that gets better over time? It's very rare for that to happen. And Division 2 has actually gotten better over time.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, there's so many games out there that have followed that corporate structure and made just total garbage. Look at the latest Call of Duty. That's not been well received. And Call of Duty, with all the complaints they've had from their players, they doubled down and said, screw you guys. We're still going to make what we're going to make. We're going to make it where you have to buy skins if you want to look like, these stupid characters. So I don't know. Maybe it's refreshing that these gaming studios are actually making games that players want, instead of pushing it down our throats that what the corporations want. So maybe that's why.
That's what I think. This is really good news, having these creative houses. So
nice. Cool. Good news.
All right. So people will be hearing more about that, I'm sure. And then I always like to have tech news. And right now I don't have any other super big articles, but I do want to follow up on RAM stuff. And, there was a big topic that I was talking about, and it is too early to say. However, even since last week, when I talked about all that, within the last week or so, a couple weeks now, RAM prices have stabilized a little bit. Now, this may be an outlier. I don't expect them to come down. It could just be no one's buying them right now because it finally hit a limit where people don't want to pay that much anymore. But here's an example. We were looking at RAM prices of like, for a 32 gig kit of like $350 to $400. That's a lot, right?
It is.
But now we're looking more like $330 to $350. So they've even bumped down a little bit.
Okay.
I don't expect them to drop a lot, because we still need more production. But this is a good time to buy RAM again if you can afford it. Like I mentioned on the show, the best time was 5 or so months ago. Sure. Like October is when the prices started raising. The next best time is now if you can afford it.
DDR5 or DDR4?
Maybe waiting.
Or whatever you can get.
It's DDR5. Yeah. Whatever you can get. The price example I was given was DDR5. Now, another interesting thing to add to this is, if you want to save some money and if you're doing a full build, you can, with these combo things, you can get a motherboard and RAM together. And what they've been doing to help offset the price of the RAM is almost give the motherboard for free. So you'll see the price of the motherboard and the RAM together. Mm-hmm. And based on how much RAM costs right now, it's only a little bit more to get the motherboard. So it's like, okay, in that case, it's kind of a good deal. I mean, it still shouldn't be that expensive for the both together. Mm-hmm. But at least if you're doing a build, look for the combo deals. There's a lot of good ones on Newegg or other places, and that can save you a few bucks there too if you're buying a motherboard and RAM together.
Yeah, I mentioned last week when we talked about this that I think pre-built computers are going to become hot again. because they can package stuff together where at least it seems like a deal, even though they might be stripping something back internally as far as name brand parts versus more generic, parts and stuff in it maybe. But I've always bought pre-built because I just don't want to mess. I want something that's already been configured. I don't have to research what's compatible, what isn't. Is this board good enough for the new stuff? How forward upgradable will it be? I need that space in my brain for something else. So I usually just go pre-built. And yes, I know I can save money, or at least I used to be able to save money by building it myself, but it comes in a box. I plug it in, I install my Windows. I download all of my firmware upgrades, updates and stuff. And I plug a controller in and I go. It's that simple.
I mean, that's the more work anyways, is on the software side. All the Windows.
It is, and you have to do that regardless if you build it yourself anyway. So you still got to do all that yourself. Plus, you got to buy Windows now. They don't get handed out like they used to. I was talking to a buddy of mine who does refurbishing on computer, and he goes, "Man, I used to be able to get extra copies of Windows 11 or Windows 10 or 9 or whatever he was using at the time, and just install it and save a little bit of money and make a little extra profit for myself when I'm building computers for people." But now they've really cracked down on Windows, uploading Windows programs for computers. So. And I think they said it was like $100 or more.
That's not true, actually.
No?
No, totally false. You can
Really?
get official CD key. Windows 10 or 11, you shouldn't be paying more than about $30. There's
Zombie said that too.
Sites where
there's ways to get it for free. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just going by what I heard.
And also, trust. We know what we're talking about on the tech side.
I don't doubt it.
You can run it for free if you're okay with the pop-ups also. They just bug you a lot, but it doesn't really stop anything from working. But again, like $30 at most, you can get a key for Windows.
That's great to hear. At least something hasn't gone up in price, right? Gee whiz. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Got anything else?
That's all.
Okay. I want to follow up with since we're kind of in a miscellaneous show tonight, I want to follow up last week because we were talking about our wish list for things we wanted in Destiny 2, I think part 8, because we talked about it so much throughout the year here, years, I should say, things we've always been wanting for Destiny. And something came up. I mentioned this a long time ago. It's probably been a couple of years since I've mentioned this, but I figured I'd drag it out of the closet and throw it out again.
A repeat, huh?
Well, it's kind of a repeat, but obviously we need a roadmap. We need to know what's coming around the bend. I'm sure they're going to provide it because they have to sell the game in the summer. They have to sell the Alchemist and then sell us on what's going to carry it through to the rest of the year. But didn't they say, Kingsley, when when Edge of Fate came out, that the prophecy was a 2-year story? Is that correct?
They did say that.
So this will be our second year. This should be the finalization of the prophecy saga, I guess you could say. So my question is, I'm wondering if that's when they're going to break off and say, peace out. We're going to make a Destiny 3 and break off like they did with Destiny 1. It's not like them to do that because they still kept giving us, if you remember when they were building Destiny 2 in 2017, in 2015, 2016, we were getting additional seasons, thinking of Rise of Iron and all those other things that I remember back in Destiny 1. So I'm curious what they're going to do there, if they're going to put a team aside now that they've got more developers coming back to Destiny. Maybe they're starting to look toward a Destiny 3, but that wasn't my topic. We're talking about things that I've been trying to think about. Why am I not too excited to play Destiny anymore? And I know there's Destiny fatigue. Yes. I've pretty much outlived Destiny fatigue. What I would do when I would get Destiny fatigue is I would upgrade I would jump onto another account. I love the progression model of the game. Not now with the portal, but I used to love how number go up. That was my dopamine hit. And I pretty much like doing not chores, but I like doing the storylines and stuff over again and ranking up my other accounts because I have 2 other accounts I play in each of our clans. And those have been set aside because I've been focusing on my main account here for GDC 1. But I was thinking, why am I not excited to play Destiny 2 these days? And the problem is, and I mentioned last week as I was listening to the show back, that we need more loot. No, we don't need more loot. You're correct. We need more aspirational loot. We need loot that we want to grind for. And lately the loot has been okay, but it hasn't been like, oh my God, I've never seen this kind of loot before. I'm going to do whatever I have to because I got to get this loot. Whether it's drip, like the super dark, the super black shader, we had to go through all that rigmarole to get into the light before the new, Frontiers, codename Frontiers came out, things like that. So what do you think if Bungie brought back, you remember they had the books in Destiny 1 where when you completed a book, you would get a kick-ass emblem or a ship or a sparrow or a shader or something. I think it's time to bring back the books. And what I was thinking when it comes to the book, one, completing the book can't be easy. It can't be like a boom, 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 I'm done in 1 week for the grinders out there. I think this should be a long-term play. It should be something that Bungie puts out there. And this is what I was thinking kind of towards the end of the year prophecy. When the year-end prophecy ends, what could they throw us that would keep us busy playing and not thinking about the fact that there's nothing coming out in Destiny 2, or at least that we don't know of. And I really loved when they put the books out before Destiny 2 arrived. And they could get really creative with this, Mike. Each book could cover a certain aspect of the game. Like one book could be for the raider. You complete all the raids in Destiny 2, and you not only get an emblem, but you get an animated kick-ass emblem. I mean, something that we've never seen before. Like Call of Duty does it. They have GIF, flashing, movement, some kind of something to get your attention. If you were a raider and you got an emblem, this special rare emblem for completing all the raids, and of course, they have to bring back the Leviathan raid and the old raids that they faded away in the game, because that is part of Destiny 2. So this all goes with that saying. They got to bring back those raids, which I think that alone, Kingsley, you bring back the Leviathan raid and all the layers, you're going to get a lot of people playing.
We've said that a million times.
I know. Anyway, that was an aside.
Yeah.
That was an assumption. I'm assuming they're going to bring these raids back at some point. When you completed all those raids, you get this really, really kick-ass emblem. Really nicely done, but something that would express that you put in the time to get all of these raids done. And maybe you can have challenges and stuff throughout that you have to do if you want to complete the book. You could have another book for Crucible, complete all the game types, all the activities, and they can have like a points threshold that's tied to kills and deaths. So if you die, it takes away from your point. And it'd be like trials. You're just basically putting your time in, and eventually you're going to get better and better, or luckier and luckier, where you actually complete stuff and go to the lighthouse or whatever it may be. But again, another badass emblem or shader. You could have another book on lore. As you unlock the lore, and you got to do certain things in the game to unlock these lore additions. Once you unlock the entire book of lore, you move on to the next book and the next book, and you make sure you unlock all the lore. Then again, you would get a really good, some kind of cosmetic to show people that you are a lore god, that you unlocked all of the lore, stuff like that. Of course, you can add ghost, ships, sparrows, but they would have to be really, really unique, because these books have to feel like you earned it. But that kind of aspirational stuff would make me log in and work towards that every day. It reminds me of the days when we had weapon crafting, and before you could automatically upgrade your levels, before that, you had to go out there and actually play the game and kill things and farm kills or whatever you had to do to get to the next level of the gun, and the next level and the next level. And then finally, when you got level 16 or 17 or 15, you could go back and craft the gun and get all of the available unlocks for it. That dopamine hit is what we're missing right now in Destiny. That where it makes it more like a hobby game. Now, I realize that I'm just one of many kinds of players out there, but for me, and I can only express what I would get me interested in playing every day, nonstop, like I used to, is stuff like that. What do you think about that, Kingsley? You think that would be something you would go for? If there was an emblem that just looks so crazy, That just, I mean, what, let me ask you this. What made you want to play, to get that one title for the, what was it? The Raid Pantheon title. What made you want to get that title?
To be honest, it wasn't even the title itself. The title was a bonus. It was just more just the experience, just knowing that I did it, personally knowing that I did it. Okay. And yes, I'm not going to say like I'm not going to use the title. I do keep it on me from time to time, but I did not do it for the title. I really didn't. I did it for the experience.
And if I remember correctly, they had some really, really cool emblems too, right? When you got that Pantheon completed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have that emblem on right now. I took it off for a long time. I just put it on last week. I forget why.
Because you know what you went through. Emblem. You know what you went through to get that emblem.
No, that's not why.
Okay. That's how I would look at it.
Why, but yeah. I just think it looks cool. I know it's different. Okay, so first of all, I would call all this cosmetic, not loot. When you first said loot, I was thinking, what are you talking about? We have really good guns. The dungeon guns are some of the best ones we've had in a long time. But I'm glad you clarified what you meant. So these are more like cosmetics, like when we're talking emblems and skins and things like that. I mean, I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but I don't think they can do animated emblems. I just don't think they can with how old the game is. Animation takes more memory, more RAM, and we already know things are stressed on the engine with stuff like that. But let's say they could, or let's say they add a bunch more emblems. I'm sure that'd be cool for some people. I just don't know how much of a difference it would make. Here's an example. The Division does kind of like what you're talking about. They have these things called patches, and there are way more patches than what Destiny has emblems. And all the things you're mentioning, like do all the missions, get this thing, do it backwards, you get another one, like, and a lot of cool aspirational ones, and some look pretty cool. But for me still, that doesn't really give me a drive to play the game. I'm sure for a lot of people it does. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I just wonder how much it would move the needle.
I don't know either.
Picture.
All I can think about, I'm racking my brain when I'm working during the day, and I think about things like this. What would they need to do to get me to really log in and make it more of my hobby game again? And the Portal did that at first for me, because they were just showering you with loot when you went into the Portal. But once nothing changed in the Portal, there was no new content in the Portal, and you were doing all of these same activities over and over and over again, it eventually started getting fatiguing. And
well, that's the problem too. It's like different people have different cost benefit analysis in their head of why is it worth it to do the same thing over again. So for you, maybe if the emblem looks kick-ass, you don't mind running that same boring mission over again. For someone like me, I still will be like, I'll consider it, but I don't know. So for me, I just want more actual content, like something that's like, even take the old missions and change them up, like have you go backwards through them and have a bunch of different RNG-based enemies, like actual AI changing and stuff like that. That's the stuff that would get me to play more, even if it's the same missions, but like not just different modifiers, but actual different looks and different styles and changes on the fly, things like games like what Diablo does and stuff like that. And world bosses that appear out of nowhere, and everyone can team up together and play them. But I'm not saying your idea is bad. You're right, because everyone has a different idea. Yeah. I just wonder, how much it would move the needle.
I don't know.
Now, what if it told you to, even you would have a line, right? Like, let's say it's a kick-ass emblem, but it said you had to do the same mission. Now, obviously they would never say this, but let's say they told you to do the same mission 1,000 times to get that emblem. Obviously, at that point, you'd probably say no, right? To do it 1,000 times.
There's a line. There's a line for everybody out there. There's a line, right? What's worth it?
Exactly. So I think that's the bigger issue, is not so much what the cosmetics are that are cool, is like finding that right line. And Bungie doesn't often find that right line. We've noticed that with the Portal. We've noticed that with other things. They don't get the right line of like getting people excited to play the same stuff over
It's always again. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It seems like every time they make some improvements, there's something that takes away from it, and it's not quite as shiny as original.
So that's another reason why the game has never burnt me out, because even though I stopped playing it as much as I used to in the past, I love playing with friends. I love raiding. I love doing new content like dungeons when it comes out. But I'm not grinding for stuff that I don't care about because I don't let myself get to that point. Bungie does have some emblems, like you can get for doing all the things. It's not like they don't have any of that in the game right now. And I look at the things and I'm like, that one's not worth it to me. And then I'm totally happy. I don't complain about it. I don't stress about it. I don't do it and then get burnt out like a lot of people would. No, it's not for me. And then I just kind of move on. So like if they were to add a bunch of like books and cool kick-ass emblems, I would look at it and be like, okay, what are they telling me to do? If it's like do the mission 5 times in a cool different way, I'm like, sure, I'll give that a try. And then I'm in the game a little bit more, and then it was worth it. But if they're trying to get us to play daily or weekly, I don't know what they can do that would keep people interested unless they add more content, because we're going to get bored no matter how cool the kick-ass emblem is.
We just need, what's up, all hail Odin? How you doing, man? There's 2 things that make me think this might be valuable to Bungie. One, there are people that pay streamers, really good trials players they pay people to get them the emblems and the shaders and the guns and things like that. So, and the fact that you remember how Bungie, when they raise money, when they're doing raising money, and streamers would hit certain levels of you remember the emblems, the cool emblems they were giving away when you reached a certain level of fundraising? That was inspiring. And those emblems, you can tell they spent a lot of time making those. But, they already had, just to counterpoint your thing about the animated emblems, they're already animating a lot of our shaders. Now, granted, it's not a lot of movement.
Yeah.
But they're already switching to animated shaders, so I'm wondering if how much room they would have to go to animate. Now, I think if they kicked off...
It's a different part of the game. Yeah.
I think if they revamped and kicked off the old-gen consoles, maybe that would free them up to... revamp
I would
the game
never say
to do stuff.
They couldn't do it.
Sorry.
And I'm not saying
PS4,
they can't now,
Xbox Ones.
But do you really think they've never had that idea? Like, I'm kind of thinking too, they would have done an animated emblem by now if they could. And that's why I think it's technically not possible.
That's too bad, because I don't even play Call of Duty, but I'll see people with these emblems. Like if I'm watching Dr. Disrespect or someone playing Call of Duty online, and I'll say, man, that's a cool emblem. And we're gamers, man. We love to show off our accomplishments. It's a moment of pride for us. And I'm just thinking, all right, guys, I'm going to work on my raid track and my raid book this week. There'd be a lot to do. It's not something you could just crank out and be done in a week with. This would be something that would take maybe up to 2 months to do. So it's more of a long-term play here where, all right, we're gonna do Leviathan, and we're gonna do this lair tonight, and we have to do it on heroic mode. That's what it says in the book. So we're gonna do heroic raid lair for Leviathan tonight, and get some people in the Discord that are working on it as well, and we would jump in and work toward it every week. That would give us some kind of aspirational thing to complete to get that final reward. And I just think a lot of players and gamers out there like to show off their accomplishments, and what better way than an emblem, because people will see you at the tower or see you floating in orbit even in a match-made game and go, man, how did you get that ornament? How did you get that emblem? I've never seen any emblem like that before. That is so cool. And it's something that can actually bring players together as well. But I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole here, but I was just thinking that this week, and I said, I should have mentioned that last week. And I said, after Kingsley talks about his tech subjects this week, I'm going to at least throw it in there and see what people think. But I'm curious what you guys think. Whether you're listening or watching, throw it in the feedback channel. Let me know. Is that something that you would grind for? Would you grind for these long-term emblems if they were animated and really stood out versus the emblems we get now? Because there's people who pay people to get those emblems, whether it's in comp or trials or those fundraising emblems that they give the streamers once they reach a certain level. I mean, that's the kind of thing that gets me excited to play this game. I know that sounds petty, but emblems are what outwardly everybody sees. It's kind of your clothes. it's kind of what people see about your brand or what your type of player. Anyway, but and of course you can assign a really cool title as well. But I'm not into the titles anymore like I used to be. And I'm not really into emblems, so you can see that alone kind of. It's hard. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll say at best case scenario, 40 to 50% of people would be interested in that. Yeah, that's a big chunk.
Is that enough to make it? It is a big chunk. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but is that, and then, but someone else could have the same idea. Like, well, I want cooler titles. Yeah. You could have animated titles too, really. In theory,
absolutely.
You could have titles.
I have an animated title in the Discord. It's something I purchased in Discord, where my actual name, if you hover over it, will actually kind of stack up a little bit. It gives it a little bit of 3D look. And I like that kind of stuff. So
I honestly prefer an animated title more than an animated emblem. But,
why not do both?
That's just me.
Maybe get an emblem when you reach certain completions, and halfway through you could even break it down into like 4 emblems per book. Like when you reach a quarter of the way through, you get this emblem, and then you half of the way through, you get this even better emblem. 3/4 of the way, you're almost there. You maybe get another shiny emblem, and then maybe when you complete the book, you get a shiny title and a shiny emblem. That, I just don't think that would be very hard to make versus making an entire whole new story mode. Because I'm thinking, 2026, 2027, that's the 2-year mark of Prophecy, and I'm really wondering, where is Destiny going to go from there? I know it's kind of, the writing's kind of on the wall for this year, but what about 2027? With Bungie really struggling with regular player numbers right now, I just wonder where they're going to go. And this would be a long-term, it wouldn't tie us into the new game, but say these emblems that you got in Destiny 2, just like in Destiny 1 when they had the books, you can bring them over to the Destiny 3 game to show your cred, your street cred.
Again, with how many employees they have, and I'm sure you're not the first person to come up with this idea.
Okay. I just want to throw it out there.
I just feel like, and you even said you don't think it'd be that hard for them to make. So if it's not that hard for them to make, and they've probably thought of it already, why haven't they done it? That's again why I probably go back to the technical side.
We do have some comments in Discord. Soggy Cardboard 55 says, I think at this point it would be easier just to make a Destiny 3 than it would be to fix Destiny 2 to the point where players come back. Well, that's not kind of what I'm getting at, Soggy, if I can call you that. I'm thinking, what is going to stave us over in Destiny 2 until Destiny 3 comes out? I know that's a big ask. I mentioned in the past that maybe they can at least update the seasonal content. Keep that seasonal team that makes the Dawning and Guardian games and whatever the summer one is, and the Halloween event and all that. Have those people in place to upgrade the game, add those extra little things in the game. But as far as the story, it's done. But I have to go back to last week. They really need to tie in the game to the portal system. And I know that's an immense amount of work, and it's the reason why they haven't done it. It's because they can only do it little by little.
Portals.
Or get rid of, or like Kingsley says, get rid of the portals altogether. I mean, if they made it where, I like the portal because it tells you what you're going to get, what grade you're going to get if you complete it, how much gear you're going to get, how powerful gear you're going to get, what kind of gear you're going to get. So there's your focusing.
They can tell you that anyways, even on the map when you hover over something.
I would be perfectly happy with that idea, Kingsley, if they can put the tiered weapons and loot into the world. If that's the case, then that would make me play the game again. In all the aspects, because right now the way the one win I have to point out that Bungie is doing right when it comes to getting my dopamine hits is the seasonal track every week with the seasonal, what do they call them? The Vanguard orders, obviously those are just general easy stuff you can complete, and you get, you're getting Bright Dust, you're getting XP towards your main seasonal track to unlock that stuff, but at the same time, you're upgrading your weekly track with those other side missions, whatever, quests, whatever you want to call them. You have weeklies and you got dailies that add up to that track. And you can do those, you can do some of those anywhere for the seasonal weekly track. But for the Vanguard orders, you can go into the Ori on Nessus and repeat it, killing a bunch of Vex and a bunch of Vex and a bunch of Vex, and start stacking all of those Vanguard orders and start adding them up, where you get more exotic ones and you get more legendary ones. And I'll be honest, I've been doing that. I've been visiting Nessus a lot lately. Just before I go to bed at night, I just want to clean out these orders here that are almost done because they expire. Of course, they have expiration dates. Hello, Bungie. Take that shit off. Take that stuff off. Make it where we can work on whatever we want to whenever we log in and play the game, and not have to worry about half of it dropping off the next reset. It's so annoying. I hate timers. I hate putting timers on stuff.
Other games do that too, so there's a precedent.
But be different. Be different, Bungie. There you go. That's my counterpoint. Gator Cat, otherwise known as Allocate, revamping the game to phase out the older consoles. How large a portion of the player base would they lose there? Better to save that for Destiny 3 and not release to the older platforms to begin with. Well, I will say this, Marathon is not for the old consoles. They've already made the switch with Marathon, the new Marathon game coming out. And I think honestly, the older consoles are holding back the Destiny 2 game as far as what they can put back into the game. Like, say we want to bring Leviathan Raid back. What if I told you that if we got rid of old consoles, that it would free up space in their servers to bring that back in, because they don't have to cater to the older console generations?
Oh my gosh. Okay, people, don't listen to that. The servers have nothing to do with older consoles. That's totally different.
Let me cope.
So, but on the topic, and now we're because we're talking about different topics.
We're off on a rabbit hole.
We repeat so much and talk about different topics.
Sometimes.
But actually, there's not a huge player base anymore on the old consoles. I think some people did some. There was way more in Destiny 1, and they actually did kick off the PS. It was the PS2 at the time. No, sorry, the PS3, and then the old Xbox. And there was more people there that got kicked off when they did the last year of Destiny 1.
They did it really. They did it much sooner too.
And it actually worked okay. At this point, there's less, but also it's still a good point that
less player base
at this point. That I think they should have actually done it a couple years ago.
Yeah, they should have done it with Final Shape.
They haven't done it, but the fact that they haven't done it yet, don't do it now. Yeah. Now just figure out what you're going to do with Destiny 3. I mean, if they don't make if they don't announce that, and we get the one more year of the thing that we're getting one more year, and then they decide to say like, okay, we're doing another 2 years of just Destiny 2. I mean, maybe at that point kick off the old ones, because if it keeps going indefinitely, another 2 years, another 2 years, they have to do it at some point.
Yeah.
And it's already a lower amount, so give it another year or so. Do it then, at worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, all hell Odin.
But yeah, we were all over the place again. There was something I was going to ask, but then you started reading comments. That's what often gets us sidetracked.
That's all right. No, this is what I love, man. I love interacting with our community, because there's probably people listening right now that have the same input. So.
Yeah, but it's often not okay.
What were you going to say?
I forget. Sorry.
All right, think it. No, just hold that thought. Yeah. Think about what you're going to say. And all hell Odin says definitely would grind for emblems and titles. See, I don't see any new games going towards older consoles. I think Sony is forcing people to upgrade to the PS5. Well, and it's going to go up in price too. We understand gaming's become more expensive, but here's the thing to think about. What's also happening to gamers? They're getting older. They're getting more established. They aren't kids anymore, and they're buying consoles, they're buying PCs, they're buying the $79.95 games, because that's their hobby. And it's still, I'm just saying, other hobbies that I've had, like drag racing, paintball, bowling. You know how much I spend every week in bowling leagues with all the side bets and stuff going on? You would cringe how much money that takes up out of my weekly budget for entertainment. But things like that are so much more than gaming. Gaming is still, hands down, a very inexpensive hobby once you get the hardware in place to do it. So that's all I'm going to say. Kilvin Gator says, just checking. Do you guys remember when they said the Fate Saga was 2 years? I remember them saying it was multi-year, but I don't think I heard that it was just 2. I heard it was 2.
No, it was 2. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I guess we're going to find out when they eventually put a roadmap out, but we'll have to see.
And multi-year can also mean 2 years, but I specifically remember at some point,
I could have sworn they said
recently,
2.
it was a while back, they said 2. So
2-year saga.
Doesn't mean that it couldn't be extended, though.
They can do anything.
They didn't say,
it's their game.
They didn't say it will only be 2 years. They said it will be 2 years. So there's always wiggle room when you use words like that.
I think the head for the story writers, I'm trying to remember her name. She mentioned that they have 2 years of story. The story wraps up in 2 years, I think is what she said. I'm trying to remember her name. I apologize, I can't remember it, but
it's definitely 2 years. There's only a plan, and they may have an internal plan for more, but the plan so far is only 2 years. So we need to hear something either in the state of the game that I expect will come later, mid to late March. But even if we don't hear something then, they would have to tell us by end of 2026 what's happening afterwards, because they can't wait any longer than that, because if they don't tell us anything, people are expecting there's nothing coming after this next year, which is going to be another July, August to next year, July, August. And then we need to figure out, okay, are we getting more Destiny 2 or something else? Maybe they're working on Destiny 3, maybe they're not, whatever,
But you'll have to wait right now because it's marathon time. Marathon has the talking stick. You guys in Destiny 2 have to just sit over here and just suck it up, because Marathon is all hands on deck right now.
They were going to hold anyways, because they don't usually announce exciting things until when the next thing's coming out.
Yeah, Shadow and Order. It's a rumor right now, Deadpool and Merc, that it's been delayed, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. But my guess is it's going to be April before we see that, because I think they want Destiny players to at least try the game for a month, and then the new Destiny
content. I don't
think
they want them to try it. I think they just want the spotlight.
I'm going to respectfully disagree. I think they're really targeting Destiny players because they understand Destiny players love Bungie games, even if it's not for their cup of tea.
Yeah, there's no way either of us can know unless we're internal to Bungie.
We don't know.
But what is a proven fact is a lot of people bought it, and that's not just Destiny players.
So I'd love to know what percentage, though, Kingsley, on those Steam numbers, on that Steam ranking. I'm curious how many people were Destiny players, and I have a feeling it was at least 50%.
It has to. No way. For it to be a top 2 on the chart, that's like there's not even that many people that play Destiny on Steam, too, for it to be a top on the chart.
But people are always hopeful. They're always looking to see what's next from Bungie.
How good news that is. Top chart for pre-orders.
I didn't say I was unhappy with those results. I just was wondering why.
No, I know, but that is a huge amount of people. Yeah.
It just feels like a pivot to me, and their marketing efforts. Now they have this pre-order ship and stuff you can get in the Destiny 2 game if you pre-order the game. Did you know they came out with a new DualSense for the PS5 that's marathon themed? So I know that doesn't have anything to do with Destiny.
That I said 6 months ago that the marketing was going to be very big for Marathon. Okay. Sony wants that. Sony wants lots of marketing. Yeah. And that's why the DualSense stuff came out too. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that last trailer looked very Destiny-like. It was talking about a lot of the big corporations and how they play together. And I didn't see any gameplay of PvP. All I saw was all of these scenes popping up in the trailer. I didn't see much gameplay at all. So,
and people don't get confused by Todd saying it looks Destiny-like. Marathon is not going to be Destiny-like.
But my point is a lot of like Uncle Scumdeath. He hardly plays Destiny. Was asking, well, do they feel like Destiny guns? Do they feel like Destiny guns? Good enough. But it is. Yeah, it piques his interest.
Well, but he may think. Yeah, he may think though that just because they feel like Destiny guns, it's also going to be Destiny PvE. But yeah, that's a totally separate thing. That's why I need to get the point out there, because I do not want to hear people complaining that they bought this game and it's not like Destiny.
Yeah.
There's no excuse, people. When I've said that a million times, it's not going to be like Destiny.
And Zombie said he was part of the playtest too, and he's going to drop $40. He'll end up dropping $40 too, unless it goes on sale.
Zombie
it's not going to go on sale right away.
Arc Raiders and stuff. That's not because it's like Destiny. That's because he likes games like that too. But we need to get the word out that Marathon is not like Destiny. Not even a little bit, other than maybe good gunplay, but that does not mean it's like Destiny. It's not PvE, it's not strikes, it's not things like that.
All right, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna put the
Destiny at all.
I'm gonna put the nuke alert on. we are definitely off the trail. So I'm gonna cut it off right there, and let's refresh things a bit here, shall we? Let's get some Destiny questions from our community, or some questions from our community next, and then we'll go and catch up on our week right after this.
Yeah, how do you think it gets like that? By reading random things?
No, guys, don't listen to Kingsley. You say whatever you want to in this chat. I love interacting. That's why I love doing live shows, because we can. It's like we're in orbit talking together.
But it's good to keep a topic on point and then read the other things.
And that's my fault. That's my fault. But I allow it to go off the rails a little bit, because tonight was kind of a loose show anyway. That's why I kind of gave it a lot of leeway.
It's all good.
So, all right. Let me. Sorry,
I'm just saying you need to nuke yourself. That's what you need to do.
I know. That's why I pulled up the nuclear alert. I'm gonna have to jump out of chat here and Discord, guys, so I can pull up the Destiny questions. I do apologize if you're typing to me right now. I want to make sure that we answer these questions for the show.
You could. Don't you have a like a phone or an iPad or something? You could just pull them up on there.
That's what I'm doing.
Then you don't have. Okay.
Yeah, I have to do the chat through the phone too, because if I pull it up in here on this, it'll mess your window up.
Yeah,
I know, it's all part of the grand scheme, but we did have 7 questions tonight, so I want to go over those. And by the way, just so you guys know, the new show format, we will have questions at the end of the show as well. If you guys have questions on anything, not just Destiny, so we will continue to be taking questions from our community, because it is about community, and I want to keep it that way. Okay, here we go. All right, boys and girls, this is not the final segment, but it is one of our final segments where we get our questions from you guys. And I want to start with Mr. Dead Rabbit has a couple Destiny questions for us this week. And this is for you, Kingsley. I know this is one you would definitely add. Which bosses would you add to a dungeon pantheon? And you can add up to 5. I don't know the names of any of these, but I guess you can point them out.
Not for me either. I'm more of a raider than a dungeoner. Sorry.
We'll get back.
I'll try to come up with an answer. I don't really know their names either, but definitely.
Obviously, the one from
the boss
Equilibrium.
In the newest dungeon. Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm. What's his name? It's not Bale. It's some other name. But anyway,
it's a female supposedly too.
Is it a female? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I definitely want Tickle Fingers in there in a pantheon.
Judge and Seer, is that what it is? Or is that something from the campaign?
I'm not looking at chat, so if you'll have to look at it if people are giving the answers.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
So this question isn't necessarily for me either. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll get back to him on it. We'll push that to next week.
Well, it doesn't mean we can't think about it for a couple seconds. Because I'm not going to put a lot of research into this, but I really like the boss in the prophecy dungeon, the 9-1 at the end, the boss that like teleports and moves around and throws the teleport beams at you. So if you get stuck there, you go back to the end. I like that boss. It's like a taken captain or something like that. So I don't know the name, but I like that one. I like the newest one, and I'll think of one more. All we need is like 3.
I'm enlisting Gemini. Oh, okay. I got some names. I definitely want Zolmak, Instrument of Torment. He's the final boss Hive Knight in Pit of Heresy. That is a classic boss. Slams that big axe down on you, and you have to attack him between swings. That would be a good one.
Yeah, that one's boring to me, but yeah, that's a good idea.
I love big giant knights. There's something about it. Don't you clip that. Looking through the bosses here. Oh, you got to go with Nightmare of Galron, Nasaro. It's the first boss you hit that chases you through that first part.
Of him, not the main version.
The Nightmare of Galron, the Sorrow Bearer. That's the first boss.
I got you.
Then you have the Nightmare. Then you have the Nightmare of Keitel, the Princess Imperial. That's the final boss. But you get Galron the first time. Remember, he has that weird hat on, that weird cap on. He runs around with the club. That would be fun. I always think of that boss whenever you say bosses for the final boss of Ghosts in the Deep, the final boss, that Lucent Hive Wizard. It's called.
Oh my god, no, that's
Simra or Nokra.
Like
Nokra Lucent Necromancer. She's really tough. She's really tough, man. Warlord's Ruin.
Nokris is the other guy.
There's 3 bosses in Warlord's Ruin. Iffin's Vengeance, Blighted Chimera. All right. Well, those are the ones that stand out for me. Obviously, It's called Dredge and Seer, the final boss, notably the first human enemy in a dungeon encounter. That would have to be probably the final boss, right? In the Pantheon, maybe? That'd be a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great question, Mr. Dead Rabbit. I appreciate you putting that in, but he does have one more for us. Seeing as it's been delayed, what are your predictions for Shadow and Order, story or changes they do to the game?
Well, we don't know for sure it's delayed yet, but let's assume it is.
Okay.
I wish they would have told us today.
Would have been nice.
Yeah. I don't think anything's changing. I think it's going to be delayed by like 2 to 6 weeks. So that kind of goes in the range, like you were saying too, like, about a month. And not much can change in that amount of time. Plus, it's not like if they were to add more all of a sudden, that's just unprecedented. That's like they would it'd be worth to like raise the price. I don't know. Not much is going to change in that much of time. So
what did they do in Ash and Iron? What changes? Was there any more story? No, there was no more story added. It pretty much all Ash and Iron was an updated seasonal reward track, right? And they added. Did they add anything in Portal? I don't even think they added anything in Portal.
The activity. The
activity.
No, they did change. They changed a couple things in the Portal, but it was very minor. And then they added that activity, which was also in the Portal. The one on the Plague Lands, which was...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Plague Lands, where we didn't actually get a Plague Lands. It just took place in the Plague Lands. They used some of the art from Plague Lands, is what they should have said, because it was not the Plague Lands. It was just a representation.
Well, same thing happened in the Star Wars campaign. We didn't get locations. We just got some.
We did get a lot of recycled locations. I didn't mind it, though, because the way they presented it, I didn't feel like it to me. Just my opinion, but I didn't feel like it was recycled. It felt fresh to me. Okay, some non-Destiny questions here. We have our first one from Barrel Barley 406. You mention all the time you like to stockpile supplies, and that always seems to be a limiting factor in Destiny. Have you considered Minecraft? You can stockpile until your heart's content. Humor aside, and I know you're joking because I'm not going to be playing Minecraft. Graphics suck. Humor aside, it does have some in-game rating like content to it. I've seen people play
Minecraft. Graphics suck too.
You like that game? No, I've seen what game?
Blatro graphics suck too, and you like that game?
Yeah, but that's a card game. But no. If you look at the cards are like shiny and mirrory, and they're not blocky. I disagree. I think it's just a card game. I mean, you can't really do anything much to that. I've seen people play Minecraft. It's just not my thing, man. It's just not my thing, Barrel Barley. To add to that, I guess he was already thinking about what I was going to say. If the graphics are a hurdle, you could try Ark Survival Evolved. It has realistic graphics. It also has pretty cool in-game stuff. It's just like Minecraft, but on steroids. What do you think? Have you played Ark Evolved? Kingsley, have you checked into that game?
And if it's a building game, I'm not into building type games, not because of graphics or whatever, but just because I don't like building things.
I'm all into collecting. See, when I'm jumping into a game, I want to know, what do I need to build stuff? If I'm building or crafting weapons or whatever it may be, my first job is to look around, get familiar with how the game works, how to fight or shoot or whatever it may be, and then start stockpiling those. Just the way my brain works. I want to stockpile all the ingredients, and then when the time comes, I have everything needed. I can start putting together some badass weapons and gear, armor, or whatever it may be. I'm trying to craft a shield or whatever it may be. That's just the way I think when I'm jumping into games like that. Oda Yukamura. Haven't heard that name in a while. He has a... All right. This is a long one, so hang in there. What is a piece of entertainment, whatever that people, including creators, keep getting wrong that low-key gets you extremely mad? For example, when Bungie said Destiny isn't a MMO, which they eventually corrected that, or when people look at F1 and drifting and say it's NASCAR, or my favorite, oh, hey, look, a mecha game adds Evangeline. Eva isn't mecha. They're flesh and blood space aliens that people control by yanking at their nervous system and poking its brain. Yeah, exactly. Oda, exactly, man. Do you have any examples of content or where content creators get it wrong?
See, I actually did research on this. Where did Bungie correct that? Because I did a bunch of Google searches, and they only said that it wasn't an MMO. So did they go back and they said it was?
Yeah, I remember Luke Smith said it was an action MMO. Action MMO. They said action MMO at some point, and they admitted it in one of the Vidocs. I can't remember which one.
Wait,
I think it's one Luke Smith was talking about.
Because that was probably before that was sounded like before when they said it wasn't, because they said it wasn't when it was first coming out in 2013.
Well, in 2017.
So when did he say that?
Well, no, I'm talking about Destiny 2. They said it was not an MMO in 2017, but I want to say 2019 or 2020, they actually came out and admitted that we do think it is in fact an MMO. Action looter shooter MMO. Pretty sure they said that.
So, pretty sure or sure? Because I did a lot of research.
I don't remember. I didn't do any research on this question. I was just going to go along with him like I knew what he was talking about mechas. I have no clue what he's talking about. I actually
thought this question was interesting, and I did research. So
I want to hear it.
And I could be wrong. I want to know, people, if Bungie changed and give me the timeline too on the order of what it was said and what was not. But Bungie did say, and I think they were smart for saying it, because look, we can all agree that it's at least MMO light, but when you talk about what an MMO is, you got to have things like 12-player activities. You got to have like evolving world events, things like world bosses. You can go on like patrol zones and defeat with other people. Bungie doesn't do any of that. And so they were making themselves safe, but because if they said it was a full MMO, then people would complain and there would be a certain precedence like, well, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? So that is exactly why they said it's not an MMOs, to set their cards in place to protect themselves.
I can't tell you when, but I could have sworn they said they finally agreed it was an MMO. I don't remember when exactly.
Research. Yeah, and then,
I'll look into it. I'll look into it.
Yeah.
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 But to answer his question, was there a piece of entertainment or whatever that people get wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Think of an example?
Well, I have an answer. Do you have an answer?
I'm thinking.
Okay, I'll go first. And I'm not going to go on entertainment per se, but I'm going to go on like what streamers or other people get wrong that kind of gets me mad. I was kind of appealing to it earlier too. But when people say about getting burnout, because people don't, I think, do the true definition of that word when they're playing games. A lot of times people would say that in the aspect of you're playing through a game too fast. And that would just get me so mad, because that's not burnt out. Because people can decide to play games however fast or slow they want. It's the same amount of content either way, right?
Yep.
If a game has 80 hours, you can play 80 hours in 1 week, or you can play 80 hours over 10 years. Yep. All right. It's still the 80 hours.
It's true.
And of course, games you can play as long as you want if you want to repeat the game and do things like that. What burnout means is you are playing the game in a way that eventually starts to annoy yourself. That's what burnout means. And the reason why this is so important to me is because I try to help people realize, like, you don't need to get burnt out. If you are doing things that are chores in Destiny that you don't like, stop doing it. Because if you keep doing it, you're eventually going to get so upset, you're going to leave the game, say bad things about the game, yada, yada. It's better to just be done, even apathy, whatever you call it, be like, and then I'll come back to the game when there's more new stuff. But if you caused yourself to hate the game because you overdid the same things over and over, that's burnout. But burnout's not, you played the game real fast. So sorry, that's my little soapbox.
No, I agree with that. I've probably contradicted myself in the past saying something like that, though. I could see myself saying that because I'm irritated with people who blow through it too quick. But it is what it is. I mean, the story is the story. You play it fast or you play it slow. It's up to you. We used to have a guy we'd go raiding all the time, and he would stop us between encounters and go, "Did you guys notice this poster here? It's the coolest thing." And we're all like, "Dude, we got stuff. We got the next encounter to go to." "Oh, I just was curious what this," and that would always get us frustrated. But this is something not game related, Oda. But how many of you have like one of those neighborhood apps, and someone will ask, what is this bug? Or what's going on with my lawn? Or I've got this, something's gnawing in my house. What do you think it is? And I've tried to help my neighbors, my fellow neighbors. I've tried to help them because I'm a professional and I can look at a picture or ask questions and determine what the problem is based on their answers, because I'm good at troubleshooting that kind of stuff. 30 years of doing it. And you'll get all of these people chiming in, and you know they're just going to Google image searches, or asking Google the question or whatever, and coming up with the wildest shit. I used to argue with them, and people would buckle down and stick with their answer, even though knowing that they probably have no expertise and they're just looking it up on the internet, versus a professional right there in your forum or your chat room telling you what the problem is. It gets so frustrating. And I used to try to help people and try to be nice and try to give them free professional advice about what this is, or what's chewing out the house, or what's going on my lawn here, or whatever, from a picture. And it's like every other chat room or Facebook group or whatever it may be out there. It just gets flooded with a bunch of ignorance, and people just wanting to seem smart, but they really don't know what they're talking about. And now when people ask, what is this bug, or what's this problem in my yard, or I'm hearing noises in my house at this time of day, what's going on, I just scroll right by it and let them figure it out. And you probably encounter that too in your tech forums, because you're the professional and you have people second guessing, telling you that you don't know what you're talking about, or they'll put you down saying that, well, you shouldn't be applying that in a yard. It's polluting our environment. And that's another topic altogether. But if you knew what I was applying, you would understand that it's not going to leach. It's actually good for the environment because it's organics. And anyway.
Okay. So to answer, no, I don't get that on the tech side, really. I just have been lucky, but I agree, because where I see that a lot is in the medical field, like in doctors.
Yes.
Like the professionals that actually know what they're talking about.
They have to be really frustrated. And I don't know if you seen
a lot of doctors in my family, my father-in-law, my daughter's going in the medical profession. It's something that I was interested in too. Yeah. And you see that a lot.
Have you watched the new season of The Pitt yet? Have you watched The Pitt on HBO?
No, I watched it a little bit. I like it.
I love that show.
I just haven't gotten back to it yet. Yeah.
Well, they had an episode where this lady brought her daughter in. She had something going on with her. She couldn't breathe or something. She was having a reaction to something. And the doctors did their test. They went through the steps. And they said, okay, this is the problem she's having. And all of a sudden, the mom's looking at her phone and says, well, what if it's this? And you can see Noah Wyle playing the main doctor. I can't remember his name. You could just see him rolling his eyes in his head, but he can't show people that because he has to be professional and is the authority, and obviously. But it's so funny how many people go into used to be you went to a doctor and said, Doc, what's wrong with me? And they say, well, this is what's wrong with you. Here's I'll give you a prescription, or here's what you need to do to fix it. Now people, because of drug ads, people come in and ask their doctor, I think I need this new eye drop because I'm getting dry eye. Well, what do you mean you're getting dry eye? Because I'm going to use myself in an example here. I mean, well, my eyes have just been dry all the time. I'm using eye drops all the time. And there's this stuff that you can put in your eyes that super lubricates it where you never get dry eye. And he goes, well, there's a lot of drawbacks to using those things. And they're really made for a certain person that has a certain, disorder. And I don't think you have that disorder. And it's just funny how people go to the doctors and tell them now what they want instead of saying, what do I need, doc? And trusting the doctor's advice. It's weird how everything's on its head now when it comes to, you're mentioning medical stuff. So, but I just thought that was odd. Dad Bod Hero has our last question of the night. He goes, question for Todd and Kingsley. With the announcement of Marathon's official release date, do you think Marathon's rocky rollout will continue due to its early underwhelming feedback and unexpected delays to push back from Bungie's lifelong fans? Do you think this game can actually make players happy at launches despite the overwhelming success of Arc Raiders? Or are players today impossible to please no matter what Bungie does due to what seems to be the baked-in expectations for the game like Destiny that nothing will satisfy them? What do you think, Kingsley? It's a multi-tiered
we
question.
Answered this earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not rocky anymore. It's actually starting to turn around and do really good. So as far as initial success, it's going to do pretty okay. As far as like what people want down the road, well, that's like any game. I mean, things can change, but I think it's kind of amazing how much things did turn around again when you look at the pre-order numbers.
It's funny. I thought the art scandal would really sink this game. You know, and someone, I think Joe, I can't think his name was Joe, lost his position. I think he had to resign after that fiasco. I thought because Destiny players, the Destiny community has very high principles, and they will not play a game on and this is all gamers, I should say. They will not buy or play a game based on principle. And I'm really surprised to hear that it was number 4 in Steam because I thought the art scandal would really sink this game. And the fact that they decided to go under the radar for a few months before coming back to promote the game after that scandal happened, I think that was smart.
So it's even more than 4 right now. I found 11 hours ago, it's number 3. And I think I saw something that got to number 2. So
I mean,
it's, yeah.
Bungie makes they make their promotional department who makes those trailers should get an Oscar. They're that good. They really know how to stir up, excitement for a game. They're very good at it. But I'm just curious where those numbers are after about 6 weeks. I hope they're steady. I really do. I want it to be successful. I'll even play it. I'm going to pre-order it because I want the ship. I want the Sparrow and the shader or whatever else they're giving.
Of course, they're going to go down, just like Destiny numbers
but
go
the question,
way down after the initial few weeks. Yeah.
But how fast are they going to go down? Is it something where people are going to play it for the first week and then boom, it's going to drop?
I guarantee it'll go down. No, it will not go that fast. It'll go down slower than Renegades. I guarantee that.
You see Stroud and Dr. Disrespect and all these guys playing the game, streaming it.
I don't know, but that doesn't matter because already I don't care what streamers are playing it. The pre-order numbers look good, and it'll go down, but I don't think it'll go down as quick as Destiny's been going down.
First thing I do before deciding to buy a game, and probably Bungie games withstanding, because I will pre-order Bungie games. It's the only games I pre-order. Is I will watch a streamer play it first and see how much fun they're having playing it and how their chat is getting into the game or what they're saying about the game before I'll buy a game. Anymore, I should say, because I do have a back order of games that I've bought from all the, probably last year was probably the best year for games. I'm talking 2024. We're thinking hypothetically, back here.
So,
2024.
So are you not going to pre-order Marathon then?
I'm going to pre-order it because it's a Bungie game and I want to support Bungie. but other games, I've never pre-ordered.
Other games.
I didn't pre-order Battlefield 6.
Well, you know what'd be a smarter idea? Instead of pre-ordering it, put $40 into the Eververse store.
That's true.
And then you can go off of your idea of like if it's not getting good reviews,
that's
then
true.
You didn't waste $40.
That's a good idea. That might be a possible thing I do.
I'm not saying don't pre-order it, but I'm just saying I think that's kind of a cool thought.
There's nothing in Eververse right now that I'm excited about, but
then you can't complain if the game doesn't do good or whatever. But either way, even if the reviews are bad, they're making some money because the pre-orders are good.
I can't wait to see we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, in future shows.
PlayStation Store, that's where it got up to number 2 in the PlayStation Store.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive, man. That's impressive. I didn't think it would do that well. I really didn't. I was kind of worried, to be honest, that I really thought that the Marathon game was sunk before it even started. I really did not have.
Well, I kind of did for a while too. I don't know if you remember, I was like, I kind of had ups and downs. If we to go back and talk about it, at first I was like, I think it'll do good. And then I said, oh, I'm not so sure. And then I went back up again. I'm like, I think it'll do good. If anyone wants to go back and fact check that, that's what I said. and then now it seems like it's going to do good.
Yeah.
At least as far as money goes.
Okay. Thanks everyone for sending your questions in. Keep them coming. And like I mentioned earlier, you might not have heard it on the recording, but I did mention to our live chat that we will continue in the new show format. We will continue to have questions from our community because it is about our community. So, yeah, you can count on sending questions in. We will see them and we will answer them on the show. So, I mean, unless it's something we can't talk about on Twitch or YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm looking at the chat. Please tell me someone clipped that. Cater. Alley Kate, come on. The comment about I like really big nights?
Yes, I think it was that one.
Mighty. It'll be in our soundboard, I guess, soon, right? We'll play it when we're doing our raids. Oh my gosh. All right. We have our catch-up segment, a little bit of housekeeping to do, and I do have some more feedback comments that I want to share before we leave tonight after this. All right. Let me... You didn't capture it, did you, Hail Odin? Please tell you didn't get it. I'm guessing everybody's busy playing Destiny right now to clip that stuff. Okay.
Well, people can always get it later. And even if you try to sneakily cut it out of the audio one, it doesn't matter because it's in the video one, so people can get it from YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah, it was between segments. I wasn't recording, but it will be in the live stream.
But I don't edit Twitch, yeah.
I don't edit the live stream. Other than the initial, the show is starting soon. I get that out because I don't want people waiting around for that. I'm going to start doing that in the future anyway. You want me to start or you want to start, Kingsley, on catch up?
What do you prefer? Is your voice tired? Do you want me to start?
I'd like a little break if you don't mind. I'll go to you first. I will
gladly go then.
Okay.
Yep.
Here we go. 3. All right. Before we go tonight, I want to catch up and see what we've been playing, what we've been watching this week. I have 2 new movie reviews I want to share. One is from Netflix and one is from the theater. But I'm going to go to you first, Kingsley. I'm going to give my voice a rest here. What have you been playing? What have you been doing this week, man?
Yeah. First, I'll start with Destiny. I had a lot of fun actually doing 2 raids this week. I didn't expect to, but on Tuesday night, not everyone was able to make the group up, so I helped fill in for a Last Wish because I love Last Wish. I'm really good on that raid, and it's always a fun time. And it was fun to kind of like help out some where I'd say 2-ish people, maybe 3, like 1 or 2 maybe didn't do it much or at all. And then maybe another person or so needed some guidance, but had a lot of fun running that. And team did pretty well. And it's always fun when you catch like someone actually asking questions and like, oh yeah, they're like soaking it in and like asking questions, you know, that they really want to learn. They really want to kind of figure things out. And that's where you can tell people are having fun doing things like, for example, Vault, which isn't that complicated of an encounter compared to newer raids, but people just think things never change. And so like, just because it was complicated on day 1, they think it still is these days. But person who had never done it before, me and Tech, we were like the 2, and I told him like, oh yeah, if 2 people know what they're doing, it's super easy for the 3rd person because we can just tell you where to go. And within like 2 tries, he was like totally picking it up and asking questions and stuff like that because, you know, give it a couple runs. You don't need to get in like 20 completions of the raid to learn it. Sometimes people can kind of start learning things with even just 1 run. So kind of fun.
Yeah, I jumped into that stream. That was HD Tech. And yeah, you guys were on the 2nd encounter. 3rd encounter. Right before the Queen's Walk, I think. You guys were doing the circles with the rotating circles.
That's right. Yeah. No. It's the 4th encounter, and it's not right before Queen's Walk. It's right before Riven.
Yeah, that's what I meant. What did I say? It's how much I love this raid. It's not my favorite raid. Not my favorite. I just don't.
Because you think it's hard?
I love the Queen's Walk. I love running at the end there. It's so much fun carrying the heart and stuff. That is a lot of fun. I love doing that. But the other stuff, I never could read those puzzles right, man. The second encounter where you had to.
How many times?
I've tried.
I should look up your raid report. How many tries have you run the raid?
I don't know. You can look it up. I've got several runs in it, but
I guarantee it's easy to learn if we teach it to you, and we can make it fun.
Dude, every time I get on the tic-tac-toe squares in the second encounter, I get it wrong every time, and I just...
You're changing the subject now. Let's talk about the puzzle room first.
Okay.
I guarantee we can make the puzzle room fun for you. Right. And then as far as the tic-tac-toe squares, that one can be a little, if you don't have spatial awareness, that can be a little frustrating for people, but we could put you in an easier position there on that.
Well, that's where I usually go. I don't do the puzzle stuff usually.
Yeah, so you're not doing it anyways, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I never tried to learn it, to be honest, because it was so confusing to me. It's the only raid that stumped me that bad. Val was nothing like dealing with that raid.
But you don't even do the positions. What's stumping you then? I don't get it.
The once you get the outdoor stuff where you destroy the queen, whatever, the you first encounter where you run in and you go from portal to portal to portal to destroy the witch, the hive witch, or whatever you want to call her, the wizard. And then you chase her inside where you have to step on the squares, or is that the third encounter? No,
it doesn't matter.
The second encounter, I don't have a problem with that one, where you go in, the musical chairs where you go in the little coveys before she screeches and kills everyone.
That's the first encounter.
Okay. It's the one after that, I believe, where you have to sit on all these squares to put the bird pieces together on the screen above.
And you said you don't do that, right?
No, I've filled in before trying to help people, and every time I do, I mess it up. It's the only raid that's given me problems.
That's because you weren't taught well.
I must not.
You're not supposed to fill in unless you know what you're doing ahead of time.
Yeah.
If you do it as part of a person,
I would usually do act clear there.
You learn it well, it goes well. I guarantee learning that is 10 times easier than some of the things we've learned in Desert
I'm telling you,
Perpetual.
man, I've done it several times and I've not been able to figure it out. I tend to, I don't know if it's something in my brain, it does some clicking or.
Well, because you shouldn't be. I told you why, because you shouldn't be filling in. We should do it where you actually do the position from the first place.
I've done that too. I've done it where people have tried to teach me and they finally give up and go, hey, can someone come in here and fill in? We'll have to teach you it later.
Mixed signals, but I'm confused.
I have tried
we'll make it fun for you.
I have said, listen, I want to try to do the tic-tac-toe tonight. I want to try to do it. I want to try to figure it out. Mm-hmm. You're trying to fill the rest of the puzzle. I understand the concept, but for some reason it's not visualizing what's up top versus where I'm at. Something's not clicking there. That's where I'm getting confused. So we don't have to keep going on with that. I don't want to keep going down around.
And I guarantee it's easier than some of the things we've learned in Desert Perpetual. So we can make it fun for you.
All right.
Yeah. And then had a lot of fun with another raid Wednesday night. Went into Crota, which I don't like that raid at all, but
I like
it was
raid.
Fun because it's been a moment. Mm-hmm. And again, it's one of the things where people claim it's one of the easier raids. Totally not true for a lot of groups, because I've seen so many people mess up in Crota and have like multiple hour runs. The easy raids are Vault of Glass. I would even say Deepstone Crypt is on the easier side, and things like that. Yep. Maybe no. You're not the example, Todd. You haven't rated it enough.
I just want to give a warning out there to people who are thinking about getting into raids. Don't do what I did. Yeah. Don't say, hey, just put me in a corner. I'll just kill ads. Make sure you jump in with both feet and learn the encounters, because here it is years later, and I still am not good at the DSC raid, the Deepstone Crypt raid. I can do certain encounters, but there's some encounters
one of the easier raids.
I'm just lost. I understand the concept, but I'm not quick enough to respond to what I need to do. That's the problem. And I know I just got to get my reps in. I get it. But that is another raid that I'm not very strong at. But I've even run it a few times now.
Do you know that in Crota, actually the first encounter and the third encounter is often where groups have big mess ups?
Yeah,
the lanterns area.
I can see the lanterns. I can see that because it's in the dark and you have lanterns swinging around, things you don't see coming at you. And of course, if you get one person who gets behind, it's like a domino effect. It slows everybody down. That's why that first encounter is so rough.
It's only half of it, and you have to be passing things between people and knowing where to deposit things.
That's a new.
And you gotta. Yep. And you have to be looking at your screen to know that your buff is full and to pass it. And if you forget to look at your screen, then you don't tell people in time and then you die,
Yep.
or if someone else is like not hearing you because everyone's talking. So anyways,
trust me, when I played it in Destiny 1, when the Dark Below came out in Destiny 1, that first encounter took me forever to get through. And we didn't have to pass buffs on to each other. So anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Destiny 1 is nothing like Destiny 2. Destiny 2, they made it a lot harder. Destiny 1, it's considered one of the easiest raids, actually, Crota.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I two-manned it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Sorry, man.
No, it's good. It's good. We're just talking about whatever right now, right?
Yep. It's our catch-up.
Yeah. And so Crota is a raid that sometimes people have problems with, even though it's supposed to be easy, quote unquote. And it can be easy once you learn it. But I had so much fun going in with a group of people because I hadn't run it in a long time.
Yeah.
Everyone's chill. Everyone's having fun. We did take a while to complete the whole raid, but we had fun. And shout out to the Wednesday night raid team also.
You raided a lot this week.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I like about raids. It's always different with whatever crews you're with and who's learning, who's not learning, where you can fill in, how you can help out, things like that. Been having a lot of fun in the Division 2. They pile on like seasonal event over seasonal event. It's crazy. So like they have and they have so many. It's not just like in Destiny where we have the spring one, we have the summer one, we have the Halloween one, and we have the Christmas one, you know. But right now, like I mentioned, it's the Mutiny. It's the where you have a companion, and that's the whole main season. But then they also added on just a little weekly thing where you have something called a golden bullet. And basically what happens is, and you can opt into these things. You do not have to do it, which is super cool. But I opted into it. And basically what's happening is this is overlaid over everything else that's going on, all the seasonal stuff. There's like a separate, I mean, obviously Destiny does this too, but there's like a separate reward track just for this little weekly thing on top of the other seasonal thing, on top of the season and everything. And, but what the golden bullet thing does is your enemies have an option where they start building up this yellow circle bar and they get a golden bullet where basically their shot onto you is like 10 times stronger than normal, almost like they have a super sniper.
Wow.
So you have two options. This is cool though. And so even on the normal mode, you're like, oh my gosh, that almost killed me. Where normally like they're shooting their AR at you or whatever, and you're like, whatever, you know, because on normal mode it's not that hard. So you have two options. You either take them down really fast so they don't get to build up their golden bullet. You can see the circle going around, you know, the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes it's actually beneficial to let the circle go all the way up where they get the golden bar, and then you'll see they have a laser scope looking for you. But if you take them out, you get the golden bullet, and then you have extra damage against the enemies for a period of time.
I like that.
So it's a really fun modifier. Yeah, really fun.
That's cool.
Doing that and stacking things. So that's my video games for the week. I think I'm going to be getting back into Donkey Kong Bonanza some more, which I call that game a destruction game rather than a building game. Anyone who's played it kind of knows what I'm talking about, because I don't like building games, but
okay.
Wife's been playing that a lot.
You're getting me more and more curious to buy a Switch too, because you can put it on the TV, can't you? Like the Switch One?
Oh, of course. Yeah. It comes with a...
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it comes with a dock, and just like the Switch One, and in fact, we pretty much just play it on the TV. We don't.
Right. Are the Joy-Cons at least a little bit easier to use now, or are they still kind of chintzy?
No, they are better, but also even on the Switch One, if anyone's hardcore, you don't use the Joy-Cons anyway.
Controller.
You use the Pro Controller.
I got one.
Nintendo makes one too, and it's actually really good quality.
It is
closer to like a PlayStation style.
It's like a PS4 controller. It's about the same size. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really sturdy. I like it a lot.
Dude, I would be. That's such a rabbit hole playing my old Donkey Kong games. Let me tell you,
the Pro Controller on the Switch, the battery lasts like 5 times longer than a PlayStation controller.
Deadpool, you're not helping.
It is amazing how long it lasts.
Deadpool's trying to get me to buy one. I've already spent way too much money this year. I can't do it. Plus, remember, I had such a bad. Remember, my Switch 1 was broken. It wasn't, the Wi-Fi wasn't working right on it. My son tried it. We all tried it. The Wi-Fi would not hook up on that damn thing. I think it was defective, but it was too late. I had not played it forever. By the time we did play, it was way out of warranty. So,
you didn't even try to hook it up on day one to the Wi-Fi? That's so weird.
Bought it for my wife for Christmas because she likes those kinds of games. And she said, "Oh, this is, oh my gosh, this is so cool." And set it aside, and it gathered dust. Said, "Never again. I will not buy my wife ever a gaming console."
You got it for yourself, and then see that's kind of what I did too. The wife and I are sharing this one, even though we both have our own PlayStations and I have my own PC. But with the Switch, I was like, "You want to go in on that?" And see, the way we do finances is very chill in our household. Like we kind of have separate, but we combine things all the time too. And we never fight over finances.
We do too.
It works really good.
Separate but together.
Yeah. And whoever's more interested is the person who's going to put more money.
More money.
And I even told her, hey, I'm interested in getting the Switch, but because we got some money for Christmas, I'm like, you interested in all? And so she threw in, really, it was the cash from my parents. So she had the free money from my parents. I had the money from my parents. And then we used that to...
See, I'm going to give you a marriage tip here, Kingsley. You haven't been married quite as long as me. My wife had a Civic. It was imperfect. I mean, she had a little bumper. It got fixed, and it was a beautiful blue car. And instead of saying, "Honey, you want to go look for I wanted her to get a Honda Accord because I wanted a little bigger car. She loved that little Civic. Instead of saying, "Hey, let's go look at some new cars," what I did, I was real sneaky about it. I said, "Man, Honda's got some really awesome deals right now." And I know her credit's stellar, so I know she would get that deal. And that's all I said. I just put it out there and then walked away. And all of a sudden the next day, she's like, "I was looking at the cars, the Hondas. There's a Honda I really like called the HR-V. It's the like a midsize like crossover." And I'm like, "Really? I didn't even think of that. Wow, that's pretty cool." And then I would walk away. And then she was telling me, "What do you think about going down there this weekend and looking at a new car?" I'm like, "I already got a truck. I'm good. I don't want one, but if you want to, I'll tag along with you if you want." I set this all into place. She doesn't. She's in bed. She can't hear me. But I set it all in place. So you married guys out there, if you want your wife to be interested in something, just leave that article like in front of her iPad or whatever she's always looking at all the time on her table or wherever she sits in the house a lot. Just leave it there very sneakily and just mention something like, "Hey, did you see the awesome sales they were having right now? Man, I was looking at that. It caught my eye," and then just walk away. Because if you hard sell it, they know that you want them to get a new car. They're going to immediately push back. But just all you have to do is just put it out there.
As long as she can do the same thing to you, then I guess that's fair.
He's done that to me all the time anyway. So
yeah.
I'm an easy guy when it comes to buying something. So I'm pretty impulsive. Anyway.
That's funny. But yeah, the Switch, I think it's so funny. Like, it doesn't even matter. We don't even care. But like, I think I put more money towards it, but she's like using it more now than I even am. But see, that's the thing. Like, you don't need to worry about things like that's the lesson I'm giving is, you know what I mean? It's like, just don't stress over those things.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're like, "Oh, you put in 60%, I put in 40. You can
no, we don't keep track of that. We don't keep track of that stuff.
Not do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of fun to have separate finances too for when we want, like our discretionary funds.
We do
things like that.
That way, we both feel independent, like we're
so then
making
you don't
our
have
money.
to get everything approved by the other partner. You know what I mean?
The way we do it is we certain things I cover, certain things she covers, and we work through it. The funds are still going to the same account, but we're working together at covering different things, and that's how it works out. We've done it. They tell you when you're married to never separate your finances, but I'm telling you guys, sometimes it's good to have a little freedom on both sides of the equation.
Oh yeah,
it's very freeing. Maybe I'll do an episode about that in my 50 years one of these days. But that's
well, you should have me on as a guest.
I should have you on. You're right. I should. You know what? That's a great idea. I should have you on. We could talk marriage.
Because Preview, we actually do have two separate bank accounts, but it's also mostly because I had a business one for my business,
right?
And just because I'm the only one, like it's a lot of times just easier doing stuff from there, and then she does stuff from hers.
Yeah.
But like we both contribute to the mortgage monthly, and anyways,
I might consider that because I'm
thinking
about doing more interview more co-hosted stuff or like guest co-hosted stuff. So instead of all solo stuff, but yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. It's almost like we're roommates, but friends with benefit. Anyways, but no, I love my wife. What else? Video game. I haven't really been watching as much TV this week. Nothing with movies. I would love to hear. We did almost consider. What were we going? Oh no, I take that back. We started rewatching Arrested Development.
Oh, that's a great show.
It is so good. Again,
it's like, those classics.
No, that last season that they made like after the fact was not good at all. Remember when they came back later and George Michael, the kid, was like a lot older and maybe
they tried to redo it
about them more.
Yeah.
But
the early days were good.
But oh yeah, such a good show. Yeah. So I've been having fun with that. And then I don't know, man, just looking forward to what's going to be coming up, gaming and everything going forward. But that's about the main things I've been doing this week.
Well, the weather has finally crept back up. The saying in Florida is if it's cold, just wait a minute. It'll heat back up. Yeah, we were in the high 70s today, but we're supposed to get another cold blast by Monday. But it's not going to be quite as cold as we got this last week because we had like 2 or 3 nights of freezing weather, which I know you guys can laugh. That's a lot for us. The world ends when we get freezes here. I did see 2 movies. I have I do have a movie review. I'm a little late with it, but whatever. Movie review. I saw The Rip. It's the latest movie from Ben Affleck and geez, I didn't even write their names down because they're such a common name. But Ben Affleck and Good Will Hunting. Geez whiz. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a cop movie. It's a typical cop movie where 2 close friends who work. Matt Damon, thank you, Zombie. Zombie's my wingman. He always fills me in when my brain takes a fart. But it's a typical cop movie where 2 close friends who work on a special tactical team, all they do is they retrieve money from these drug houses and they call it a rip. They have a crisis of conscience as they hit a cartel home, and this cartel owns the whole block. And they're using all these houses to store money in the attics. They come across, instead of what they thought was a few $100,000, they come across a $20 million dump. And they call it a rip. And there's lots of twists and turns in this one. It definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. I mean, to be honest, I'm confused why this movie wasn't in the theaters because it was a really top-tier cop movie. It's up there with Training Day, Mystic River, The Departed. Well, maybe not Mystic River because I don't think anything beats Mystic River, but I was really surprised how good this one was. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 81%. IMDb has it at 6.8. I agree. It was a great movie to watch right now on Netflix. 4 solid stars for me. Definitely want to watch this one. The ending is really, really good too. The next movie I saw in the theaters just last night is 28 Years Later. This is the Bone Temple. It's the sequel to the 28 Years Later that was released last year. I think they recorded these movies or made these movies. I think they did all the filming like at one time. And if I remember, I gave that one a pretty good rating last year. I really enjoyed it. This movie is like a continuation of where the first movie left off. And it centers around this young boy named Spike that got forced into this motley crew of killers called the Jimmies. They all wear these blonde wigs, in fact. There's a little subplot storyline also of Dr. Ian Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes. He's trying to develop a vaccine to reverse this zombie-like aggression that infected the world. It's a zombie movie. Does he succeed? Well, you'll have to watch it at the end, find out at the end if he does. I will say that it appears that another sequel will be in the works, as there was a special appearance from a very popular star that laid out kind of the groundwork of the next storyline of the movie. So we might have another third 28 Years Later movie coming down the road. Rotten Tomatoes has this one at 93%. By the way, they gave the first one only 88%. 7.8 on IMDb, which is very strong for a movie. To me, it was fairly limited in scope this time around compared to the first movie, but it didn't take away from the feel of the movie. So I agree with this. I agree with the critics on this one. I give it 4 solid stars as well. once it comes out into the streaming platforms, definitely check this one out. But I will tell you this, if you don't watch the first 28 Years Later movie, watch it first and then watch this one, because if you haven't watched the first movie, you may be a little confused as to what's going on in the second movie. Destiny wise, I've already mentioned what I've been playing there, the weekly tracks and the Vanguard orders or what I've, what I'm doing. I was a little peeved that one of the weekly quests for the seasonal track this week was forcing players to do a Grandmaster or higher Vanguard alert. And for the solo player, this was not going to be a fun time. In fact, McMaximo was even asking about this in the Discord. Where is this? What do I have to do for this activity they're calling about? I knew I could probably get through this one solo if I really worked at it, but it was going to be excruciating trying to get through it alive. So I just overlooked this weekly bounty that came out, and they need to give us more general things.
Wasn't it or? You didn't have to do just the Grandmaster. There was an or option.
Yeah, but they're both real high level stuff that it's going to be tough for a solo player to jump into. But I just said, screw it. I'm going to skip it. They're forcing us to play things that we don't want to play. I don't like that. Give us more general things that you did in the past, like generating orbs or picking up special and heavy blocks, something we can work at throughout the week that adds up quickly. And something obviously that we can do anywhere in the game. That's the real appeal to me right now, and why I jump into those weekly quests and orders. We did do another Desert Perpetual raid this last Saturday, and I streamed it on my YouTube and Twitch. If you like I do every Saturday night, I did get the Whirling Ovation exotic rocket launcher. I gotta say, man, this is a weird weapon. You actually hold down your trigger to spin it up, and then you release it. When it maxes out in like a damage and velocity. It is kind of fun to use. It's a dummy rocket. It doesn't track. But man, when you crank it up to the max and let go of it, it is like a missile. And it does a lot of damage. So once you learn how to use it effectively, it's pretty fun, but it takes a long time to wind it up, I'll just tell you. So unless you're getting really good numbers versus, winding it up and hitting something one time versus shooting things over and over again with like a machine gun, I don't know. I'll have to test the numbers on that, whether it's going to be good in the raid. I am going to plan on running the Renegades campaign again with my Titan and Hunter in the next couple of weeks. I might stream it like in midweek, like I talked about. And I just released my latest 50 years experience required episode this week. And it was about 2 books that really changed my life and might change your life as well. And I kind of have it's kind of a book report show, I guess you could say. I talk about the pluses and minuses of each of those books and why it really affected my life when I read them. Other than that, I've been watching playoff football. My Bills got shafted because of a terrible interception call, but I had the Rams going to the Super Bowl, but they still got to get by the Seahawks this weekend. So I'm looking forward to watching that game this weekend. And tomorrow, my wife and I are going to the IMAX theater here locally, and we're going to see the new movie Mercy. It's a kind of a sci-fi futuristic movie about a guy who makes a court system to speed up court cases. And you have 90 minutes, and you have access to all the AI, all the cameras of the world to prove your case that you didn't do it, whatever crime that may be. But you have 90 minutes. If you don't do it in 90 minutes, zap, you're dead. They inject you with something, or I don't know how it works, but it looks kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's what we're going to see tomorrow. But that's it for me as far as catch-up segment, Kingsley. I did want to mention before we go tonight that we had some more comments, some more feedback from our community. And I wanted to just read a few of those comments because we are changing our format as of February 5th. That'll be our very first episode with our new format. And we're continuously getting feedback. And by the way, keep that feedback coming because I love reading this stuff. But I wanted to read some comments we got from All Hell Odin. He says, I would like the content like back in December on the new consoles, gaming systems, etc. The guest appearances are amazing. I now follow Willem Scream thanks to this podcast. He's a good guy too. Real good Destiny guy. I like hearing about other members. So keep the guests. That is awesome to hear from our members on the podcast. Also, build suggestions and mechanics are another great ad. I'd rather get our members' feedback than listen to a YouTube video from someone else's whose voice is like face planting on concrete. I like that analogy. I like getting to know our members and hearing more about the community. Overall, I like the plan of direction for the podcast. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Odin. All hail Odin. Berserker, I was literally touching grass when I listened to the episode replay. I always point out someone at the very end of the podcast if you listen to the audio version. Finger pinching grass out of my head like of my lawn trimmer. Nose pliers are overkill on this one. Kingsley's PC section was informative, and maybe can schedule it into weekly episodes for those who PC, Destiny or otherwise. We definitely will take that into consideration. Barrel Barley, great show. The DP raid was awesome. Looking forward to playing that one again. And Nate, if you remember Nate, at the end I put a little blurb at the very end of the show just to see who listens to the very end of the show after the music. I usually put a little outtake in there. And there was an outtake of Nate where we said, Nate's broken, and Nate repeats it or something. He goes, I'm just crawling out of a hole and catching up this past episodes. Just caught the final 2025 episode. Nate got broken. We broke Nate in the outro. It cracked me up. Just remember being on the episode makes me happy that I'm now 2 months sober. Congratulations, brother. I wasn't able to keep up that while going through rehab, so it was a surprise to return to. I'm always thinking of my past guests and my community members that are still around, Nate, so keep it up, man. My brother just celebrated a year of sobriety. We're so proud that he's done this, and I know that's a very, very tough demon to slay, so I appreciate you letting us know about that. And then finally, Pompey Patriot said he just caught up on the recent couple of episodes. Destiny fatigue is sadly very real, so I'm excited to listen in on the new direction you guys take the pod, and hopefully it will encourage me to get playing some other games. So yeah, I just did want to mention, and Kingsley, I want your opinion here before we go. I am going to mention that I am going to do a game of the month in our new show format. I'll mention it on the first episode what the game will be. I'm going to stream it live for at least a few hours, either on Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, depending on what night we're going to see a movie. We usually go see a movie in the midweek if there's something to see. And then after the whole month of playing it, I will have a small little snippet of what I thought of the game. There's two good things that come out of this. One, like Kingsley always says, it makes me play other games. And two, I think it would be challenging if we had someone or members of our community that want to play the game along with me for the month. And they can even give feedback in our feedback segment of our show, in our Discord, of what they think about the game. We can put it in the game section, the other game section, Kingsley, that you make that forum section in, and go from there. I think it'd be a good thing to bring people together. And I also wanted to mention, talking about new guests, we still plan on bringing new guests in. My goal is to bring in one new guest a month. And what you're going to see is more of a rotation of some of the similar people that you're going to see in the new episode. It's going to be remember how I was doing guest co-host for a while? It's going to be kind of on that order. You'll see some new faces. You'll see some faces that have come back to do the roundtable again. But I do plan on bringing in a new guest as long as I can find one. Every month, and I will just tell you this, we already have a new guest coming in February. I just talked to him a little while ago, and we're just trying to lock down which show he can come on. Oops, I gave half of it away, didn't I? So just want to let you know about that as well, just responding to your feedback this week. Kingsley, anything you want to say in response?
No, I don't think I do this time. I love the idea. Actually, okay, I do love the idea because some people were saying like a video game book club, so people can follow along if they like.
I like that.
I would just suggest don't let people give you too much input of what game to play, because you got to play something that you want to play. Otherwise, you're beholden to streamer type things where they're telling you what to do, and you may not enjoy the game at all. Yeah.
I'm not going to really be too crazy about people trying to backseat gaming. I don't really care about that. If there's something I'm stuck on and you guys want to help me in chat that night, I'm not going to tell you not to tell me. I'm not worried about getting spoiled because a lot of these games have been out for a while already. But I will tell you this, I'm not going to have much sway from the community on what game I play, because I have a nightmare backlog of games that I want to play, and they are all over the place, by the way. They're not just shooter games. So I've already got my game picked out for February, and I'll let you know in our first episode which game I'm going to try and challenge you guys to play alongside me, and you guys can tell me what you think as well. So I just want to respond to that. Yep.
Yeah, if you do, and I'm being fair, don't listen to me either, but if you do ever decide to play Division 2, I'll gladly join up with you.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and Division is on my list. Division 2 is on my list. So,
but again, don't listen to me. Just whenever you're ready. You know?
Yeah. I will say it's not going to be my first game, but it is on my list because I am getting the itch to play a third-person shooter again. I really am. So, yeah. Okay.
Such a good looter shooter, by the way.
I always got confused by all the different. I thought the loot was very samey when I played the first part of. I think this is First Division. Last time I played, and I'm just worried that it was too. It got so convoluted for me when I've played Division 1. The different whatever. Maybe it was just early in my build crafting years. Maybe I just didn't understand it. Just didn't click. But yeah, I'm like I said. I don't think I've played Division 2, to be honest. I played Division 1.
When a game is big, and people say this about Destiny 2 when they're new, things are confusing at first, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a good and a bad thing, because actually the more confusing a game is means that there's potential to have a lot of things that'll keep you interested for a very, very long time. Right. Now, it can't be so confusing that it turns you off. But that's how I felt about the Division 2. I was a little confused at first. I watched a couple videos. I talked to some friends. I can give you guidance.
Good.
I think doing builds is easier in Division than Destiny, but there's still some basics that you have to figure out that can take you some time for sure.
Okay.
Just like Destiny, you know?
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the show tonight, guys. We went a little long tonight, but we had a lot to talk about. My bad. We kind of rambled a little bit in the show. I didn't keep it. I didn't rein it in this week. I apologize, but it was kind of a miscellaneous show this week since there's not a whole lot going on with Destiny, and wanted to make sure we had something entertaining for you guys this week. So that's our show tonight. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, please give us a follow, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. If I had middle finger, you could flick me a middle finger too. I don't care. Just respond to something in the YouTube just to let people know that you interacted with it. And YouTube will see that as, hey, maybe we need to show this show to somebody else. So we appreciate everyone that hung out in the chat tonight, especially in our Discord channel, which is kind of a rougher scene. We don't have nice, pretty, overlays and stuff in our Discord. It's just our beautiful faces. Not even Kingsley's face. He's afraid to show it. No, I'm just kidding. But you better show your camera at least a little bit on some of these new shows. But yeah, that's our show tonight, guys. We appreciate it. And remember my new solo podcast, 50yearspod.com. That's 50yearspod.com. I just released the latest episode, 2 books that changed my life. You guys might get a kick out of that one. Don't know, but I appreciate you. Whoever is listening to that show, I appreciate you doing that for me. And just spread the word. If it's something that helps people, spread the word for me. That's really the only way podcasts can grow these days, is just by word of mouth. So that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. And whether in life or in your game, get your reps in. Later, Guardians.
Have a good one.